It's time to get you up to speed on all things sports. Yes! With plenty of nonsense in between.
Oh, look! Here comes our fearless producer!
Gwynn and Chris starts right now on 97.3 The Fan.
And welcome to it, everybody. Happy as we can be. On a Wednesday afternoon, middle of the week get-together, Gwynn and Chris on San Diego's #1 sports talk station, 97.3 The Fan. Chris Ello, Matt Skraby, together back in San Diego at our Odyssey Palace studios after a great two-day trip to Peoria. Tony Gwynn Jr., we left him there, and he and the Padres have a day off. So Tony joins us from Peoria today, and, of course, we'll try to lift the spirits of the Aztec faithful, but Tony, I don't have a whole lot of speeches for losing by 40. You know, I don't lead the league in those. So
I'm salty. I'm salty. I ventured down the rabbit hole of reading tweets, and I got a bone to pick with a lot of people. A lot of people I know. Will Gavin, when I see you, it's on site, dog. I didn't like the way the words people use these really dramatic words to describe things sometimes. That was really irritating. I was already dealing with a 40-point loss. Yeah. Get on Twitter and you see these.
Can I read it? I didn't see this from Will.
Oh, you got it there?
That one got under my skin a little bit.
Well, San Diego State tweeted out, "Not our night. Thank you for the support." And Will quote tweeted, "What utterly pathetic, atrocious, embarrassing performance from the Aztecs basketball team."
I was mad.
Yeah.
I was already irritated about the 40-point loss. Sure. To see people who I know, going in like that.
Yeah, it's not appropriate.
It's a little early. It's a little early. Like we just lost. Can we at least get 24 hours and then you can kind of come with the super nastiness? That one kind of irritated me.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, I feel you. I feel you, Tony. And I was worried about that myself because I think there's two ways you look at the game last night. One is you look at the game itself, and it was atrocious. I mean, that was about as bad as they can play, and I assume it's about as good as North Carolina can play. So you're going to put those two things together, you're going to get a result like you got. But I think you also have to still look at all of this in the realm of the entire scope of Aztecs basketball. And, I watched the whole game. And it was obvious that they were not going to win probably midway through the first half. But I watched
don't even know that it took that long, honestly.
That's right.
10 minutes left in the first half.
I was doing a baseball game and was just kind of checking in, and at no point did I feel like, we're going to make a run here.
No, they weren't. They made a 4-0 run, I think, at one point. That was about the best they got. But, I mean, as I was watching the second half, I honestly felt that it was a bit of a tribute to what I think about this program and these coaches and these players. I felt like I owed it to watch the whole game. They got crushed last night. They know that. Nick Boyd said as much.
And he said they got punked.
He did, and he was right. He was
what Nick Boyd had to
absolutely,
say
and he said, "If you're not, he said you're not an athlete, you're not a competitor. If you don't take this with you and work harder in the off season." That's exactly what I want to hear. But to me, Tony, this was not it ended up 21-10. You got eliminated in the first round, and you got blown out. They got blown out last year in the Sweet 16. I mean, UConn beat them by 30 last year. Should we have been disappointed that last season ended so badly? I wasn't. Sweet 16, following a year when you made the national championship game. This program has given us 8 consecutive 20-win seasons. They've given us 19 consecutive 19-win seasons. They've given us 7 NCAA wins in the last 2 years. And this year, even though everyone's going to say today it was a terrible year and this and that, they gave us an overtime thriller against Houston. They gave us 4 or 5 incredible comebacks, 2 against San Jose State, 1 against Wyoming, and a last-second miracle win at Air Force. They delivered once again this year. The winter was fantastic. The games were exciting. This is what I want out of my basketball program. Do I want to lose like that? Of course not. And, we can be critical where you need to be a little critical, but overall, I got what I wanted out of this year. They gave me a lot of thrills. and a lot of big wins and some great play and some great players developing, and coaching was probably as good as it's ever been, considering the fact that they had, 7 freshmen in the rotation, or freshmen or sophomores. I can't be that disappointed. I didn't like it, but for people to tweet out, so much negative, I hope that's just frustration.
It was. I was partly joking about being irritated. I mean, I was irritated. It did irritate me, but I wasn't pissed at anybody. Everybody's frustrated. I get that, but I don't even think it needs to go that deep. Here's what we do know about this team. All those things you just said are 100% fact and true, in my opinion.
Right.
But there were signs all season long that this was a youthful team that was going to have to learn on the fly. They didn't have the same type of experience that they've had over the last 3 years, where they've been some of the older teams going into a tournament. They were the youngest team in this tournament. And they played like that. They played like a group that hadn't been on this stage. And Boyd alluded to it in his press conference, in the sentiment that he was happy that those guys got to experience it, because many of them had never experienced it before.
Yeah.
And so I just think that in some ways this was kind of what it was going to be, right? I mean, I think at times during the year, especially early, the wins against Houston, some of the other wins that they had early on had us convinced that, maybe this young group is going to pick it up really fast. But if you paid as close attention as we did over the course of the season, there were plenty of signs that there was youth and learning that needed to happen in order for them to be good. We could all cross our fingers and hope that they're going to pick it up as soon as we would like it to happen. But typically, those things take time. And I think this group, should everybody, that, is going to be impactful come back, is going to be a really difficult team to deal with next year.
Yes.
And
they're going to add Reese Waters to it if they're able to keep everybody.
They're adding Reese Waters as well. And so, as disappointing and as upsetting as that 40-point loss was to North Carolina, I have a high school friend that I went to Peoria with that played volleyball there.
Yeah.
She certainly hit me with a DM right after the game. I had forgot that she had gone to school there, but nonetheless, I'm not crazy upset about this. I think this is only going to get better, I think.
Yeah, I'm able to put it into perspective. That said, it was an awful 2 hours to have to sit through.
We're going to wait, hold on. We spent so much time on this on the show about you driving home. Next segment, we're going to talk about your experience.
My experience.
Because driving home, Chris, not kidding, once things started going bad, I'm like, this is sad and hilarious that Chris is going to get home excited about this game and then see what's happening.
Oh, you couldn't say anything, huh?
Well, he wasn't going to check his phone. And so I tweeted, I said, this is sad and hilarious. And people were like, tell him. I'm like, he's not going to look at his phone.
I did not look at my phone until about 2 a.m. after it was all over.
Sammy Lev even called me and said, can you believe Chris is going to watch this later?
And Chris did.
That's great.
But, here's the thing. North Carolina was so good in this game that I almost started to hate Michael Jordan for a while. Like it was it was just insane. I mean, RJ Davis, I know the RJ Davis is good. He's the second leading scorer in North Carolina history. But 6 for 6 on threes.
Dang, you almost started to hate MJ. That's what I mean.
No, they were so good. Right, I know. They were so good. Somebody put out a meme of MJ rocking back and forth and laughing, smiling and laughing, and said, this is what all North Carolina fans feel right now. But RJ Davis goes 6 for 6. Yeah. They hit 80% of their threes in the first half. And even if the Aztecs were better than this, I don't think they could have kept up with that. I don't know when the last time a San Diego State basketball team's given up 95 points, but I bet it hasn't been for a long, long time.
I was going to say, I'm not sure that it has happened in this era.
Now, because when I was watching it, as everyone was, realizing they were just hoisting threes, trying to get back in the game.
That was their biggest mistake.
Is that a sign of a young team?
No, exactly.
Yeah.
Here's the other thing. That you very rarely have seen. It's been a long time since you've seen, I should say, that they look like they had a hard time just getting into their offense because of the defensive pressure that North Carolina was putting on them. So once they fell behind, for a young team, you could see how the shot selection would deteriorate as it seemingly did. And on top of that, they kind of neutralized a lot of the things that the Aztecs do well or had advantages in. And it was just a rough day all around.
Yeah. But you're right, Skraby. I think you hit it on the head. When you're a young team and you can't find anything, you settle and you say, well, I got to put something up. And how many threes did they shoot with 2 seconds left in the shot clock? I mean, that was basically the last thing was available to them. So, people are being a little critical, I think, too much of Miles Bird. He did not have a great game. All right.
Not one single performance was turning that game around.
Exactly. Let's leave out, individual performances. This was a team loss in every sense of the word. And, Carolina's already a big favorite to beat Ole Miss in the next game. And if they play like that, they may win 2 or 3 more games. I'm not sure. But it wasn't, as we discussed earlier, I dealt with it a lot better than I thought I would. I don't like to lose like this. Nobody does. But, the great from this program easily outweighs 2 hours of whatever that was last night. So, that's all I can say.
I turned it off. I was like, I'm not watching this
There
anymore.
wasn't much reason.
I stopped getting updates from Dave Marcus after, I honestly, I felt it like early. Once they got like the first big lead.
Yeah.
And I think it was the second timeout.
It was 13.
You could just tell.
Yeah. You could tell. We weren't getting any looks, and they were getting every look, and they were making everything. So
every time I pulled away from the desk to look back over there, somebody was being harassed, like high up, just past half court. And then it was like 10 seconds on the shot clock at that point. And, it turned into a bad shot pretty much every time I turned my head to look.
I have 2 questions for you guys on the other side.
All right, we'll get into that. A couple of things. First of all, the San Diego State basketball season is not over. That's because the women's team is still alive. And to that, we are going to have 2 of their players in studio with us at about 3:30 today. Both Kim Villalobos and Megan Fizo are going to join us. We're excited, looking forward to that. The women's team leaves for Louisiana tomorrow, and they'll have their shot in the NCAA. So we will get into some of that. My journey to watch last night's game, we will give you some of that as well.
That's the only thing I want to talk about.
I know a lot of people want to know, what was it like in my shoes last night? So I will be happy to share that with everybody. Padres, if you're wondering, are off today, so a day off to relax in Peoria. Tony will be with us throughout the program, and we'll get rolling here on Gwynn and Chris. Happy you're with us. Wednesday get-together. San Diego's #1 sports talk station, 97.3 The Fan.
Tom Bakadaku on the San
2:19 on the clock. Tony Gwynn Jr., Chris Ello, Matt Skraby. Off day for the Pods. They'll pick things up again here tomorrow. Almost done with spring training, man. Monday is the last game. Come home after the 12:05 Wago. Tuesday off day. Wednesday off day.
Did he slip a little Spanish in there?
Yeah, he slipped in Juego.
Very good, Tony.
Yeah.
Impressed.
So yeah, that's that. Now let's get to what we need to talk about.
Yes.
I mean, Chris had, pretty much he made it known that he was not wanting to hear anything, see anything before arriving home from the 5+ hour drive back from Arizona. And he held strong to that. How was your experience, Mr. Ello?
It was pretty normal for me. I know this is not normal for anybody else, but I want people to understand that I have watched NBA Game 7 championships featuring the Bulls, my favorite team, at 1 a.m. on VCR. Back in those days. Now DVR. This is very normal for me. I did plug in the phone on the car so that I would be listening to music. No chance that I'd be running into a radio station that might say something I didn't want to hear. The only thing that did go through my mind was this. Now, I think everybody's we had Apple CarPlay in the car in the room. We rent a car. Banner. Yeah, we rent a car, by the way, Tony.
That's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah, that's another conversation. My wife does
what's
not
the
like
point of buying a car?
She doesn't like to use our cars to drive over to Peoria.
Not going to argue with Lori.
Don't argue with Lori. Just rent the car and get with it. So we rented the car.
Get with it.
Yeah, it had the Apple CarPlay. So you're right, Tony. Right across the bottom, there's a little banner that pops up when you get a text. The good news for me is all I can see is who the text is from. I can't see anything that's said in the text.
Right.
But in driving 5 hours and knowing that the game had ended at 8:30 or so, and I got home at 12 o'clock, no one texted me. Not one.
Wow.
And I was concerned.
Antennas went up.
The antenna went up that something really bad must have happened.
Really?
Yeah.
Because if it would have won, everybody would have been texting you.
Yes. Yeah. I feel like somebody would have texted somewhere and say,
I feel like you made it very clear on the radio to San Diego, do not contact me tomorrow night.
But I know, but I have other friends.
I don't know. I was about to say, believe it or not, Scrape, not everybody listens to the radio.
Yes. I have other friends that are diehard, Aztec crazy fans, crazier than me even.
For sure.
And I just feel had we won, or even if it had been a close game and they lost on some technicality, somebody somewhere would have just sent a text. Now I wouldn't have read it, but the fact that I didn't even receive a text got me thinking that this wasn't going to go well.
Oh no!
So when
you already had an inkling.
I did. I had an inkling.
Was tipped off.
I was tipped off, and when I got home, I put all the stuff away.
You put your stuff away. Before you watch the game.
I still have OCD. I still have OCD.
Yeah,
I got to put my stuff away. That's just me.
For sure.
Yeah.
I still have OCD.
I still have that. Yeah. So I had to get everything put away. Got Lori, taken care of, set up in bed, got her to bed. She knew I was going to stay up and watch the game. Got the dog taken care of. And then, honestly, having DVR, I think came in kind of handy last night.
Yeah.
I mean, who the hell wanted to sit there for 2.5 hours?
Can I tell you what I
was able to at least fast forward through a lot of it.
I put on Twitter, I thought you were going to watch most of the first half, and then when they pulled away in the second, right out of the gate in the second half is when you started fast forwarding. But you watched the entire game.
I did, and I told you why earlier. To me, it's a tribute to the franchise, the program, not the franchise, the program. I think I owe it to be there, win or lose, and last night was lose. There's no question. But I wasn't going to leave early. And, I spent a lot of the second half, honestly, thinking about how lucky they were to win as many games as they did the last 2 years in the tournament. It's not easy. And that proved it.
That is an interesting place to be at 1:30 a.m. on the couch.
That's where I was. Yeah.
You know what? The Aztecs, they're actually really lucky. Your mind does weird things at 1:30.
Yeah.
I think that's legit. I mean, I personally see my phone, because I have there's a group text of a bunch of us that went to school together.
Right.
I would have had to find out one way, because they would have either been like some angry texts going on there, or everybody would have been excited. So I get kind of being tipped off there. Nobody gets just crickets, because it was just a tough performance.
See, if
they beat North Carolina by 10, somebody would have had to have sent me something.
Sure. See, it would have bothered me more to see the name of the person but not know what they sent me, because I'm like, okay, what could they be sending me? Because the name of the person tells you everything. If it's if it's me, Chris knows I'm trying to give him a score.
You got to understand this, Skraby. I've been doing this for not just a year.
Hey, you know what's funny?
I always do
Chris,
this.
is I developed a system in the years that the Lakers were like terrible and they were like losing games, where I would record a game and I'd start out watching, and it would, when they were bad, it would start going bad quick. And so I would like only look at the clock, and I'd be like, all right, I'm gonna stop it at this time right here, see if they've closed the gap, right? And I'd only do that till we got to about the third quarter. A lot of times by that time, team is pulled away, but occasionally you start to, okay, if they get it to under 10 here and before 2 minutes,
I'm gonna start
watch
watching
the rest.
Yeah. There's a lot of, I don't know. I think I can't be the only person that does this, but I'm the only person I've ever met who does this.
I still think, because you guys always say I don't love sports, I like sports. Watching things DVR'd, sports DVR'd, and your favorite team DVR'd is a sacrilegious thing for a sports fan. Unless you can't.
Wait, it's a sacrilegious?
Yeah. All sports fans should be in front of their TVs or in the car near the radio.
If you can't get to it?
That's a different story. Like, Chris could have gotten to it. He could have watched it on his phone.
No, I would have.
He was driving.
I was driving.
He was driving.
That wouldn't have been too good.
I mean,
I could have had my wife drive, and
you know what I did?
In the back seat, but I don't think that would have.
He could have been like these dookie drivers here in Arizona. And I was riding back with Jesse yesterday and literally looked over on the freeway and saw a chick, 2 hands on the phone, like
come on,
like up near the steering wheel.
Yeah, that's
it was amazing.
That's way too common in Peoria. I agree with you, Tony.
Come on. And Chris was mad at me for stopping at the yellow light. That's the person who's going to just smash right into us.
Yeah, they're going to smash into
you.
They're
going to be like, you messed up my show.
They're going to smash into you because you're stopping short at the yellow light.
All right, real quick. Next question. How does Magoon Gwath stay an Aztec next year?
Tony Annie's up. You got to
just put it on Tony.
I got to put it on Tony Gwynn Jr. Tony's got Annie up. He's an alum. You got to go to the big alums. I don't know. They're doing everything they can, and I got to believe the Dutcher and that program they've already started working on trying to keep him. Whatever they have to do. But
is this like a thing that's being talked about?
I think it's being talked
about.
Are
we just assuming he's going to want more money?
We're
not assuming anything about him.
I'll be honest with you, Tony. I don't think anyone is assuming Magoon Gwath wants more money.
Yeah.
I think what we're worried about is that somebody's going to come with a bag. And if somebody comes with a bag, what's he supposed to do? Can you turn the bag down and say, well, I really like my, my people at San Diego State, or do you have to take the bag? That's my worry. I don't think he wants to leave. But somebody comes with a ton, what's he going to do?
I don't know. I mean, we've seen this kind of hit. We saw this hit the Aztecs, last year?
Right. They lost 5 guys. I mean, Lamont Butler stayed an extra year, right? Remember that after he hit the game-winning shot, they wanted him then. And he said, no, I'm loyal to the Aztecs, and his father, and everybody said, no, we love the program. But then after last season, Kentucky came with so much money that, his father said, we have to take this money. It's just silly not to. Yeah, that's what I'm worried about with Magoon Gwath. So
I don't know. I've been encouraged lately, just kind of hearing about. I know we've been talking about Rick Pitino, but I read a story about how they basically are doing it, and he's not like offering these kids the bank, right? But he's able to keep them though somehow. And so you start to hope that kids will value, where they're at and what they're getting to learn when they're there. To go along with, obviously these guys are going to garner some cash from someplace, right? So yeah. I'm not saying that you just hope that isn't the only thing that's, I think that's probably why Dutch has been successful. He's created a what's the word I'm looking for? A culture in which guys want to be a part of it. And listen, they're going to get him. I'm assuming they're going to try to get him as much bread as they can get him. But you hope that is enough to go along with everything else that the school presents.
Yeah, because he's such a major cog for that. I mean, you put him in the middle of a defense, the way they play defense, and give him another year of, experience. I mean, he came so far this 1 year. So an off season working with this staff, there's no telling how good he can be. You hope this team stays together because as you said earlier, Tony, they're going to be really good with all these guys getting another run at it. I mean, that's pretty scary for the rest of the Mountain West if it happens. So
let's
keep our fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed in that.
Yeah, right.
All right, let's get to break. When we return, are we going fantabulous?
I guess so. My brain is not working great today, so maybe it will help.
Oh, he's putting out the disclaimers before we even get this bad boy rolling.
My brain
isn't working today. He says.
I'm probably going to lose.
Let me ask you this: how is today different than any other day?
I at least have a little bit more neurons firing on a day that I get sleep. Because you know what? I went to bed at like 2 a.m. because I couldn't fall asleep, and then my guy Lucky 6:30. Let's go, Dad. Let's get outside. You're home.
Lucky don't want to hear the excuses, just like we don't want to hear the excuses.
Exactly.
Let's get to break. More Gwynn Chris on the other side.
Ben and Woods on the Fan.
I've been listening to you guys for the past 4 months. You guys are super.
Chris, hello. Yeah, we're here in Cooperstown for 97.3 The Fan. So excited, the induction weekend for the great Trevor Hoffman. What a class he's going in with, too. Let's take a look. Of course, Alan Trammell from Kearney High School in San Diego. And then, of course, the Detroit Tigers' great shortstop, Jack Morris, in a Tiger uniform there, but I always remember him pitching that 1-0 shutout in Game 7 of the 1991 World Series for the Minnesota Twins. Maybe the greatest postseason pitching performance of all time. Chipper Jones, Padre fans remember him. Every fan of a National League team remembers him because he would come in and do damage to that team. Only the second #1 overall pick in the Major League Draft, Chipper Jones, to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. The other is Ken Griffey Jr. Vladimir Guerrero. Never met a pitch he couldn't swing at. And powerhouse hitter for the Expos and then, of course, the Angels at the end of his career. Jim Thome, over 600 home runs, mostly with the Cleveland Indians. And then, the guy down here on the end who used to get all these guys out all the time, Trevor Hoffman, the greatest Padre reliever of them all. Two of the greatest outfielders in the history of baseball. Of course, you've got Babe Ruth right here. Ted Williams right over there. I was wondering who the third outfielder would be. And then, of course, it hit me. Tony would be upset if I didn't say that the third outfielder, who will someday probably be displayed right here between these two guys, is obviously Mike Trout. And this is the San Diego Padres locker room here in Cooperstown. Obviously, a couple of jerseys there and hats, gloves, all-star stuff. I think the most interesting thing in this entire display, though, especially this weekend, is a picture in the top corner of Angus Young. He's the guitarist for AC/DC, wearing a Trevor Hoffman uniform, obviously playing Hell's Bells. I know that Trevor went to many AC/DC concerts and was honored by sitting in the front row to watch AC/DC play Hell's Bells in his honor. But there's a picture of Angus Young playing Hell's Bells for Trevor Hoffman, wearing the 51 jersey right there. Chris, hello. Yeah, we're here in Cooperstown for 97.3 The Fan. So excited, the induction weekend for the great Trevor Hoffman. What a class he's going in with, too. Let's take a look. Of course, Alan Trammell from Kearney High School in San Diego. And then, of course, the Detroit Tigers' great shortstop.
Aztec women's basketball players, Kim Villalobos, Megan Fizo, will be in studio. Yes, Aztec fans, the season is not over yet. Tonight, the UCSD women's basketball team plays Southern. Wish them the best in their play-in game. Tomorrow, the UCSD men take on Michigan. So there's still a lot of March Madness around here. And we should point out that we keep saying the Aztecs lost by 40. They actually really didn't lose by 40.
The score is much kinder to them than
score was much kinder.
The actual game was.
Thanks to our bench warmers, who are far superior to their bench warmers. The Aztecs outscored them something like, 26-10 down the stretch, and actually only lost by 27. So let's be clear about that. Padres are idle today. They are now find themselves a game back of the Dodgers in the NL West. Dodgers won again in the middle of the night, 6-3 this time over the Cubs. Shohei Ohtani homered. Although, did you see it, Tony?
I have not.
I barely got to look at it. There apparently somebody reached out over the fence and grabbed the ball, and people are saying that they should not have called it a home run. That they only called it a home run because of where the game was being played. So.
Oh, yes.
It's a little criticism of Shohei. There's always a conspiracy.
Conspiracies for you, yeah.
Yeah, and the other note from that game was that Skraby's favorite pitcher, Roki Sasaki.
Oh, yeah, what happened, Chris?
He struggled big time. He walked 5 in like 3 innings, and he only gave up 1 run, but he walked 5. He what did he throw? 59 pitches.
56, 25 for strikes.
Only 25 for strikes. So he
look at me. I'm like, when I'm targeted and focused on like trashing someone, I know the stats.
Yes. What are you, the pitching whisperer all of a sudden over there?
Just the
56
pitching hater.
Pitching hater. Yeah. I imagine Sasaki's a little nervous, so give him that. But
I mean, it was. I why would this should not be a surprise? I mean, we saw Yamamoto, who's much more of an experienced pitcher, come over and struggle in the same way. I mean, these guys are they get built up as, these, and listen, he may very well get to the end of the season and look just like Yamamoto did, where he was like unhittable at the end, so this is going to be a process. It's not a surprise to me that he had a little bit of struggle in this first, probably amped up. He's pitching back at home, his first big league start, 5 walks. That's what that sounds like to me. A guy who was just overly amped and couldn't figure out how to control that.
I know that's what it sounds like to you, Tony, but to Skraby, it sounds like a pitcher that's overrated, and we're glad we don't have him.
No, you're not a listener to the Skraby show. You're not listening to the Skraby show, Chris, so you wouldn't know that I have been saying for weeks that I'm probably going to come out looking like an idiot on this Roki Sasaki thing because he's probably going to be pretty good.
Well, he wasn't.
What I wonder often for you, Skrabe, is how long you've been doing this now, like baseball? How long?
Baseball, 7 years, as long as we've been here.
7 years, and in those 7 years, you still have not learned that baseball is probably not a good sport to like jump out the window and just make these proclamations. You like consistently do it though. I don't understand it.
When I feel good about something, I feel good about something, and then I realize later that I probably shouldn't have felt so good about it. So. Roki Sasaki is going to be my latest foot and mouth moment.
I think Tony's trying to teach you some lessons you are not willing to learn.
I'm willing to learn. I'm just not putting them in practice.
I see. All right. Well, maybe you.
He's just not putting.
No, he's not doing it.
Chris says, "I see."
Yes. All right. Well, let's see if you can learn how to win a matchup against Tony in today's Chris's Fantabulous Sports Game Show. Skrabe.
Hey, all you beautiful people out there, it's time to play one of our favorite games of the week.
All right.
We like to call it,
I'm going to go
Chris's Fantabulous Sports Game Show. And it starts right now on 97.3 The Fan.
All right, we have some fun with this once in a while, and it's time for a Fantabulous Sports Game Show. I think you guys are going to find this to be a very fair category today. I expect a good contest between Tony and Skraby. You can play along out there, see how many of the correct answers you can get, and let's get to it. There are 22 correct answers today, guys. 22 correct answers. First player to 12 will win, or if you miss a guess, then you get a strike, and 3 strikes, you're out. Here is the category. And I think you guys are going to laugh when you hear the category because it's me who chose this category. I want you guys to name.
Is it always you?
Who else would choose the category?
I know. You'll see what I mean.
Okay.
Who were the best 22 players last year in Major League Baseball? Flat out, the best 22 players in baseball as judged by WAR.
Oh,
that's why I know you guys would laugh because I hate that statistic. There were 22 players.
Tony and I are like, ugh.
This is tough. There were 22 players, that is position players and pitchers, who had a WAR of 5.0 or better. 22. 18 are position players, 4 are pitchers. So that going in. And you got to guess the 22 best players in baseball according to WAR last year.
Okay.
I think this is up your alley, Skraby. You're kind of an analytic guy. You're trying to teach me this stuff.
A little bit.
So let's see how you do. And we know Tony will do well because he always does. Skraby, you want to go first? Give me one of the top players in Major League Baseball last year. Had a WAR above 5.
Juan Soto.
Juan Soto had a 7.9.
That's it?
7.9.
I got to rethink this list. I thought he was going to have like a 15 WAR or something like that.
That's 8. That's an 8 plus wins right there for you.
You're right.
Yes, he finished 6th in that category. Number 6 was 7.9.
So that's it?
That's it.
All right, Tony, give me somebody who was a 5.0 or better WAR last year.
Oh, Adam
man,
sorry, go ahead, Tony. My bad.
Yeah, you're interrupting the
I
guy.
know, my bad.
Aaron Judge.
Aaron Judge, number 1. Number 1 last year with a 10.8 WAR. Not only was he 10.8, he was 1.5 points better than anyone else in baseball. That WAR did not include him dropping the fly ball in the World Series, however. Thought I'd point that out. Had to get that in. Had to get a little twist in there for the Yankee people.
That's messed up,
Yeah.
man.
All right, we got Soto and Judge. Very good.
Oh, I got one.
All right, Scrape, who do you have?
My guy, Bobby Witt Jr.
Bobby Witt Jr. is number 2.
Ooh, good one.
Bobby Witt Jr.
Good one, player.
32 homers, 31 steals, 9.4 WAR, second best in all of Major League Baseball. Bobby Witt Jr. Very good. All right, you guys got 3 of the top 6 to start things off. Remember, there are 4 pitchers, 18 position players. Tony, your guess.
Scooble.
Tariq Skubal. Correct. He was the number 1 pitcher last year with a 6.3. The Cy Young Award winner in the American League, 18-4 record. So we're tied at 2. Skraby, your turn.
I think
First to 12.
I think I should go with the best pitcher of last year.
All right.
I'm hoping he played enough games to accumulate enough WAR. Paul Skeens.
Paul Skeens, the Rookie of the Year
Yeah.
in the National League.
The way you're setting this up, I don't like it.
4.9. He did not quite make it. Skeens is
Looking for
a
something to throw,
strike.
but everything is breakable, so I can't.
Oh, please fire something across the room.
Can't.
That's what we like to
That
see.
is annoying. Not only can he not get the 5 WAR, but he gets the Rookie of the Year.
Scraby's knocking off.
What did you just hit?
The microphone.
The microphone. Yeah, Skeens was he was 23rd, I guess is what you'd call it. He just missed it, but he didn't make it. So you got a strike. Tony, your turn. You can take the lead here. It's only 2-2, and Scraby's got a whiff already. Tony, who you got? One of the top players in all of baseball. Be anybody. He's thinking a little tougher than this is tough, I guess.
Oh, how about Shohei?
Yeah, I thought you guys might guess him.
Why did I never think of that one?
Yeah, he's probably one you'd guess. 50. Just a reminder: 54 homers, 59 steals. Just for people who don't remember, 9.2 WAR, third best. And you got to assume his WAR would have been a little higher had he played any defense at all, right? He did this only batting.
Yeah.
So that's impressive.
Now, Adam Klug has a good distinction on the chat. Is this B WAR or F WAR?
Not F WAR.
Okay.
Thank you, Adam. Yes, it is regular WAR as
Get out of here, nerd.
Yeah, no kidding, man. No nerds allowed in the Fantabulous game show.
I'm going to go with the Cy Young Award winner in the National League, Chris Sale.
Chris Sale, 6.2. He did get there. 18-3 for him. And you've tied it up at 3. You guys have now used 2 of the pitchers. There are 2 left. And there are 16 correct answers total as Tony goes back here in a 3-3 game. Guessing one of the best players in all of baseball last year. 5.0 WAR or better. I may have to start giving you guys some hints.
I got a couple names.
You got a couple more names? Okay. I will say all these guys did have amazing years, but there's also a few in there that are a little surprising to me. There's a few guys that surprised me, but I think if you think of guys that were really studs, that you're going to be okay, except for Paul Skeens, who just missed it.
How about Harp? How about Bryce?
Bryce Harper. That's a strike. Bryce Harper did not get there last year. He had a 4.8 WAR. So
yeah, I knew that was a risk right there.
Yeah, Skeens 4.9 and Harper 4.8. So you guys just missed on those guesses. We're tied at 3, and we have 1 strike apiece. This is a contentious Fantabulous Sports Game Show. People out there yelling a few names, I'm sure, that are coming to their minds.
Zach Wheeler.
Zach Wheeler. Risky, Skraby, going for one of the 2 remaining pitchers out there. But a risk that pays off.
Ooh, you had me scared.
Zach Wheeler, 6.1. He had a great year, 16-7, 224 Ks. Skraby takes the lead. There's only 1 pitcher left. And I'll be honestly, I'm going to just tell you this. I'd be surprised if you guys get that one pitcher because I think it surprised me. I'll just say that.
Ooh, maybe I know.
I would go the other way and try hitters here. You got Skraby with a 4-3 lead. Tony coming off of a rare strike for him.
How about
It's not
how
coming
about
to
Gunnar
Tony
Henderson?
today. Gunnar Henderson, Baltimore Orioles shortstop, 37 homers,
That's
21 steals, 9.1. He was there. He's the 4th highest in all of Major League Baseball last year. Very good, Tony. So you guys have got the top 4, and we got a 4-4 tie with 1 strike apiece. We're right back where we started. Skraby, your turn.
How about Jose Ramirez?
That's a good guess, and it's correct. Jose Ramirez, I still think he's the most underrated player in the league.
He might be, because he does not look like he's a world-class athlete, but he is.
He hit 39 homers last year and stole 41 bases.
Yeah.
He doesn't look like a guy that could steal 1 base.
No, but he can do everything.
He's a baller. He had a 6.8 WAR, so he was clearly in there. Skraby leads 5-4. I'm thinking you might win this, Skraby. Tony's kind of
I just
scuffling here.
my mind's starting to operate.
Starting to percolate.
It's starting to work a little bit.
Starting to percolate. Okay, what do you got, Tony?
How about Jack Merrill?
Ooh,
Jackson Merrill.
I was not sure after the Paul Skeens thing.
4.4. He did not make it. Jackson Merrill.
Oh,
wow.
Not one of the top 22 in WAR.
The only reason I didn't guess him, because I would have guessed him, is because Chris and I talked about how he was second to Paul Skeens in WAR basically all year.
He was. All right. So
all right, let me do
Tony's
this one.
on the doorstep.
Let me
and
do this
Skraby
one.
leads 5-4.
Let me do this one.
Who you got?
Tony's on the doorstep.
I know. I'm shocked.
Fantastic season last year. Maybe the only guy in his team to do much of anything. Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
Vlad Jr. 30 homers, 103 ribs.
Like 330 batting average.
323.
Oh.
6.2. Correct. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Skraby in the nerdy category has a 6-4 lead.
You know what helped me is that we're making our AL East and picks, and I looked
We're
through
doing
all
our
the
picks
AL East
later,
today.
and you're prepared. All right, Tony.
You were going off a war. Stop lying.
No. I was
bro.
looking at stats and
Stop
stuff.
it.
I was looking at stats.
Oh,
and
okay.
stuff.
All right, Tony, you got at least 4 or 5 super all-stars that are available here that had great years. There's a few guys
How about Lindor had a good year?
Lindor had a great year.
How about Francisco?
Yes, he had a great year. Second in the MVP balloting, if I'm not mistaken. 33 homers, 29 steals, 7.0 WAR for Francisco Lindor of the Mets. He was 8th overall. You guys are missing number 5, number 7, number 10, and then on down the line from there. You have 1 pitcher left. Skraby's got the lead, which is always a surprise.
Are you going to tell us the pitcher role?
Yeah, sure, starter. No
Dang
relievers.
it.
No relievers are in the
This
top.
is not a guess, but I was thinking possibly Emmanuel Clase.
Well, you would have been wrong. So
Okay.
I'm glad you didn't guess that.
The starter, huh?
You're going to go for the one starter that we haven't named?
No. You know what I'm going to do?
Who are you going to go with?
You
need a really good
Uh-oh.
player. Uh-oh.
Now I'm not feeling so
Now you're
great
not
about
feeling
this.
good. Who do you have?
I'm trying to think, Chris.
All right.
Stop talking.
Wow.
Oh! I may go for the pitcher right now.
Okay.
And I'm probably going to be wrong. Logan Gilbert?
Logan Gilbert goes for Logan Gilbert.
No shot.
2.8. Not
Oh.
even in the running. Not even
I thought he
close.
was good last year.
He was, but his WAR wasn't very good.
Oh, wow. Okay.
All right, we're 6.
That was
shot.
pretty dumb, guys. That was
6
pretty
to
dumb.
5. Tony, you can tie it back up, and both of you would have 2 strikes. But Tony, you got to get this one here.
How about Ketel Marte?
Oh, what a year he had. 36 homers, 932 OPS,
He was Poland.
Missed some time,
6.8.
though. Oh, okay.
He made it. Ketel was number 10. So it is now right. Let's take a break. Give you guys a chance to think. We're at the top of the hour.
No.
Well, just hold on to it.
No.
We're tied at 6-6. You both have 2 strikes. This is a perfect place.
You're going to make me sit on this?
Sit on it. Tony gets a little more chance to think as well. There are 10 correct answers left, and they're tough. So we'll see who ends up winning today's Fantabulous Sports Game Show. when we come back. Also some daily Gambit stuff as we get into hour number 2.
Hour number 2 on Gwynn and Chris. Tony Gwynn Jr., Chris Ello, Matt Skraby, finishing up a fantastic, fantabulous sports game show. A doozy, if you will, depending on how quickly we get through this. We will have a daily Gambit to follow. So, with that being said, let's hop right back into this fantabulous sports game show.
Giving yourself a tongue twister, Tony, not a...
Yeah, no.
Not the best.
That was unintentional.
Yeah, I would not advise that in future.
Chris was in here with me the entire time. I did not look at anything once. He even came over and checked my computer.
You look real happy right now, like you would come up with some stuff. We're going to find out.
I did come up with one. I don't got many more after that.
You don't got?
I ain't got.
I got to be honest.
I ain't got no more than that, Chris.
I have to jump in there because we have people that drive home with their kids after school, and when you're saying I don't got, you're not doing a favor to any parent out there.
I ain't got no more. My mom, if she's listening right now, is punching her radio.
Yes.
Crawling in her skin
no
right
kidding,
now.
Because you know how many times growing up she corrected my grammar because I used to say me and him, and she's like, "No, stop it! You sound dumb."
Do as Skraby does, but not as he says out there. All right, we've got
that's how our generations of parents raised us.
Yes,
correct.
Do as I say, not as I do.
Yes,
that was a common phrase from parents.
Yes,
and the wooden spoon to the back. The backside was also a common occurrence.
Mispronouncing a word, I didn't normally get hit with a spoon.
No, but I would say bad words, and I would say mean things to my brother and sister.
How did you pronounce that? Pop.
What?
All right, we got a 6-6 tie. We have 10 correct answers left. Our category today is top 22 players in Major League Baseball last year, according to the WAR statistic. Tony named Aaron Judge, Shohei Ohtani, Gunnar Henderson, Francisco Lindor, Ketel Marte, and Tariq Skubal. Those are the 6 that Tony has. Skraby named Bobby Witt Jr., Juan Soto, Jose Ramirez, Chris Sale, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., and Zach Wheeler. Those are all correct answers. Unfortunately, each player has 2 incorrect answers. So you're down to your final strike with 10 correct answers to go. See how many you can think of out there as Skraby steps into the batter's box. And I want to say ahead of time, when it's tied like this, I think it's fair. If you miss, Tony has to get one to complete the round and win the game.
Makes me feel a lot better, honestly.
So, yeah, because otherwise you could just lose. And I think Tony would have to get one. That's my ruling.
All right.
All right, go, Skrabe, for the see who you got here.
I thought about all the awards last year.
Yeah,
and I think I got the pitcher.
You're going for the one pitcher that is left.
I can't think of any other hitters for some reason right now.
All right.
Former Padre Seth Lugo.
Seth Lugo had a remarkable season.
I don't like where this is going.
Yeah. Wait a minute. Hold on. I did not. Yes, that is correct.
Whoa!
5.3. Seth Lugo is correct. I also messed up.
Why?
Paul Skeens is correct, too. He was 5.9, not 4.9.
You're trying to screw me out of this game.
Well, I've corrected myself.
Yeah.
There were
that point and
there were 4 pitchers that I did not put down on the list because their WARs were in the 5, and I did the wrong cutoff.
Okay.
So you got operator error here, which is rare.
So there's more. So to be clear, there's more pitchers than
there
what
are
you
now
said.
3 more pitchers available, but I can tell you, you're probably not going to want to guess any of them. They are no names.
No, I think I know exactly the one. It's one that you hate on quite often too. I'm gonna use that one.
All right. Well, it's your turn, Tony. And Skraby has only 1 strike now. And
wow.
Skraby's ahead 8 to 6. This has changed.
Okay, so because of that, I'm gonna hold off on my pitcher. I'm gonna save that one.
All right, Tony, you need one to stay alive here.
How about the kid in Boston, Jaron Durant?
Oh.
I have never heard of this guy.
What are you talking about?
Really?
Yeah,
not really.
He's a big star, and he got in trouble last year.
Jaron Durant had an 8.7 WAR.
He's a good player, man.
I guess the 5th best in all of baseball. I did not know who he was.
War aside, Like the dude can play. He was the one that was balling when the Padres came to Boston last year.
Interesting. Well, he had only 21 home runs. He hit 285. He did have 34 steals. OPS 834. So I thought the WAR was incredibly high for him, but that is correct.
Yeah, I think he's like a mid twos WAR defensively too.
That's what probably helps his cause.
Yeah.
All right, you guys have got the ones you're missing are number 7, and then everyone else is out of the top 10. So you guys have named all the big ones so far. Skraby, you now have a little cushion because you have an 8-7 lead and you have only 1 strike, thanks to the correction on Paul Skeens.
I'm trying to think about my fantasy baseball team from last year.
Your 2-time champion baseball team?
Yes, because I won
Would
the
you like me to say that
so...
for you again?
Yes, yeah. Please.
Figured you would.
I'm going to go with a kind of out there one.
Out there.
Kind of out there, not out there.
Not out there.
Brent Rooker?
Brent Rooker.
That's a good one.
The one that got away. 5.6. Brent Rooker makes it. Yes.
I'm really digging the bottom.
I got to be honest with you. 39 homers.
That's a lot.
112, 293. I mean, I don't want to say the Padres let him get away in the sense that he really didn't do anything when he was a Padre.
No one knew anything.
Man, has he become something there for the Athletics. All right, Tony, again, to stay alive. And these are starting to get tough now.
Yes.
I got to be honest.
Talking about Duran made me think about defense.
Okay.
And this Matt Chapman.
Oh,
it's got to be on there.
Matt Chapman, 27 homers, only hit 247, but he had a 7.1 WAR. That's how good his defense was. Number 7 overall. All right, you guys have got the entire top 10. So now you're really scraping. You guys got the bottom 6 hitters left, and you got the bottom 2 pitchers left. So there's 8 correct answers. Skraby's got a little room to operate. He's got the lead and only 1 strike.
No. I was going to say something and I changed my mind.
If you guys come up with any of these, I am not that they're no names. I'm just saying you guys are doing a hell of a job. You've already done a hell of a job.
Okay.
But
I got a couple now.
Who do you have now, Skrabe, to continue to hold on to your lead?
I don't know. I'm trying to think of anyone right now.
Oh no, you don't even have a guess right now. That's not good.
Yes, that fog has settled over you like it was on me.
I know. I'm hitting my wave of tiredness right now.
Who do you got?
Anthony Santander.
Oh, good year. How many home runs did he hit?
40 something?
Yeah.
Not above.
Yeah. I'm not even seeing him on the list anywhere here.
Well, then that's just wrong.
I'm sorry. How
do you hit 40 home runs and not have a WAR in the top 50?
Because you got to get on base. Your defense.
His WAR is
your defense can take your WAR down.
I don't even see him on here. There he is, 63rd.
That was stupid of me.
With a 2.9 WAR.
I thought I had one.
So now you do have 2 strikes. Tony can now pull even, or Skraby wins the game if Tony misses. And this is a really good guess if you get it.
I'm going with my pitcher pick.
Are you really?
Oh, no. Yes.
Can I talk you out of it?
No.
I'm just saying. I know the 2 pitchers that are left. If you get one of these, you are a genius.
See, this is eye of the beholder. I'm gonna say Hunter Green is on that list.
Unbelievable. Number 2 among pitchers, 6.3. Correct. Hunter Green. That's right. 9 and 5.
See, I know you are scarred from your time as a fantasy owner of Hunter Green.
I owned him for 3 years and he stunk. And now I don't own him anymore. That's correct, Tony. Very good. All right, we are dead even. 9-9, 2 strikes apiece. Skraby, there are 6 hitters, and there's still 2 pitchers because I had honestly forgotten about Hunter Green until Tony said it. So I'm kind of doing this on the fly now after I didn't write it down correctly to begin with. Okay, the 2 pitchers I'm telling you are totally out there, but you can guess them if you want. The hitters, I'm going to say I'm going to say three of them of the 6 are legit stars. The other 3, I think, are quite surprising.
Gosh, dang it.
Skraby, you got to think of one. The Daily Gambit is over.
I know.
For today, the kids are coming in at 3:30.
I know.
To do the interview.
What do we want to do here, Mr. Skraby?
What do you want to do, Skraby?
I don't know,
Skraby.
I don't know, Jim. Let's go with...
You got to say somebody.
I'm thinking.
You got to say somebody.
Oh.
Whoa.
Marcell Ozuna?
Marcell Ozuna. Had a hell of a year. Hit 302, 39, 104, 925 OPS. But he did not play defense. He was a DH. 4.3. All hitting. Tony, now it's open for the win. Got to come up with one of the 8 remaining answers who had over a 5 WAR last year.
That was disgusting. Yeah, no, it was a good guess.
It was a pretty good guess. You just left out
he just didn't play no D.
No defense. Yeah, that's what hurt him in the war. Tony goes for the win.
I'm going to say the sweet swinging.
You're going for a batter.
Left-handed Yordan Alvarez.
Oh, man. Yordan.
He doesn't play defense either.
He does not. He had 35 homers, 86 ribs, 308. 959 OPS.
That's the same pretty much statistics as I just gave.
The problem for you, Skrabe, is that Yordan Alvarez had a 5.4 WAR. That is correct.
How?
Don't yell at me.
How?
Tony is the winner in a thrilling Fantabulous game show today.
How does that work?
I don't know. I've told you that I think the WAR is the dumbest statistic ever, and now you're seeing why I say that.
By the way, who did I say again?
You said Marcell Ozuna.
Marcell Ozuna,
who almost had the same stats exactly as Yordan Alvarez, but Alvarez had a 5.4 and Ozuna had a 4.3. I don't understand how it works either. You're not playing the music. I can see that. See, there's no music being played. He's stunned.
I'm stunned that you can have the same exact stats in a different war.
Oh, no. He's going to be going on and on about this for the rest of the month now, Tony.
Well, it's ridiculous, and you already tried to make me lose by not putting Paul Skeens in there.
You know what? I could have just let it go.
Would have changed my strategy.
Stop it. Stop it, I say. Here are the ones you did not guess. Riley Green, Tigers. Don't know a lot about him. Here's one you could have got, I think.
Riley Green?
Yeah, here's one you could have got. Ellie De La Cruz.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. Here's 2 more that I think are kind of surprising. Zach Neto, shortstop for the Angels.
Yeah.
Dalton Varsho, Toronto, despite hitting 214.
This is why WAR makes no sense.
I know. He had a WAR over 5.
His defense.
I guess.
His defense saved him.
Yeah, Corey Seager is the last of the hitters to make it. And the 2 pitchers you didn't name – that we didn't get to. One of them was on your fantasy team, Skrabe. And I couldn't say that because it would have been too big of a clue. Reynaldo Lopez.
Oh, I forgot about him completely.
And the other one, how about Eric Fetty?
That would have never
no kidding. Who would have ever got that?
Varsho had a 1.9 offensive WAR and a 3.1 defensive WAR.
That's how he made it to 5. There you go. All right, great game, though, for both of you guys. Hope you enjoyed the Fantabulous. Sorry, Skraby.
I didn't.
I know. I'm going to have to put up with him complaining for the next little bit. More Gwynn and Chris after traffic.
From the 855.
month of March. Tony Gwynn Jr. wins a thriller over Skraby in the Fantabulous Sports Game Show. And
This song's making me feel better, though.
Skraby, I got to tell you, I feel you here because the WAR statistic makes no sense. And that's what cost you. You're enjoying a little Marley, though, and I
hang with him.
Happy to see you liking a little reggae at the moment.
Yeah.
Good for
hang
you.
With them, Scrape. That's
hang
what I got. That's
with
the message I have.
Them.
Hang with them, buddy.
Hang with them, Tony.
Correct.
Hang with them.
Correct indeed. San Diego State's women basketball players, Kim Villalobos, Megan Fizo, will be checking in here in about 15 minutes. The Aztec women's team heads down to LSU tomorrow. They play on Saturday. The March Madness continuing tonight with UC San Diego's women taking on Southern. Tomorrow, the UCSD men will play Michigan in Denver. Did you hear the stat on that, Tony? UC San Diego is second in the country at forcing turnovers, and Michigan is 328th in terms of committing turnovers. That's why a lot of people think the Tritons are going to be able to.
They commit a lot of turnovers.
They do. That's what the stats say anyway. So we'll see if the Tritons could take advantage of that. All right, the Daily Gambit. It's time. I say.
Do you like money?
I think about money a lot.
Do you like money without doing anything?
Winning.
Do you want to make money while watching sports?
I think Washington is immortal luck.
Washington! Woohoo!
If you answered yes, this is your segment. Just don't blame us when you lose.
Nothing is ever your fault.
It's your game. Take it.
Gwynn and Chris go through the top bets of the day in the Daily Gambit on 97.3 The Fan.
Daily Gambit is our daily sports betting segment here on Gwynn and Chris. Please, everybody, gamble responsibly. Chris, how much was the spread last night? I forget.
27.5. Aztecs covered. No.
I was going to say, wow. I didn't realize that.
It was not.
Was it single digits?
Yeah, oh, yeah. It was like 4. 3.5.
Aztecs covered.
Yeah, it's about 3.5. Something like that.
Oof. All
Yeah.
right. Well, that's we don't have any bets to review, so we'll go forward.
All right, let's get to what we got tonight. NCAA tournament play-in game. Xavier against Texas. And Xavier's a 2.5 favorite here. Winner obviously gets into the main draw. Skrabe, why don't you go first since you lost the Fantabulous Sports Game Show?
Gladly.
Trying to help you here. Who do you like, the Musketeers or the Horns?
You remember that girl that I left at the sushi bar in Cincinnati?
Wow. No, I don't. But
yeah, we told that story before.
She went to Xavier?
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, she did go to Xavier, so I'm going to choose Xavier in honor of her.
Choosing in honor of her.
Yes.
I'll take Texas. I think that's the SEC, right? The SEC is the greatest conference in history. Tony, who do you like?
Yeah, I'm also going to take Texas.
Texas, he says. All right, UCSD women are actually favored here tonight against Southern by 3.5. Winner moves into the main draw. I got it. What?
Wait, what's going on here?
UCSD women taking on Southern tonight in the play-in game.
Sorry.
They're favored by 3.5, and I'm going to go UCSD. I gotta support the Tritons. Tony.
UCSD.
Not a boy. Skrabe, you want to be a...
I have no idea, but I'm going to go UCSD.
Yeah, how would anybody... You haven't scouted Southern yet?
No. It was on my list of things to do. Didn't get to it.
Darn it. Phoenix Suns, 6 points over the Bulls tonight in Phoenix. The Bulls are terrible, but they're only one game under 500 on the road. That doesn't make a lot of sense, Tony. Who do you like here? Suns?
I think the Suns are cooked.
So
I'm going to go with I think I'm going with the Bulls.
The Bulls. Scrape?
I'm going to go Bulls too.
Really?
Yeah.
All right, I'll make a sweep. But the Suns are like desperate. I think they're a game out of it
for about 2 months.
It's just not happening. All right.
They don't seem to really be interested.
Lakers got the Nugs tonight, the Nuggies. 231 points. 231. Scraby? That's like 116 to 115. It's a lot of points, but
where is it?
The fabulous Staples Center.
Crypto.com arena.
Right.
No LeBron, right? No Luka.
I think Luka's playing.
Luka's playing.
Yeah, he's in.
I'm gonna go under. I'm not feeling it.
I'm also feeling the same. Skrabe. Under.
Okay.
It's too many points. Lakers got to slow it down tonight. Tony, your
I
Lake show.
am feeling under on this
Feeling
one.
an under. All right, tomorrow, a couple of NCAA games. Purdue 7.5 over High Point. Again, another team that I don't think Skraby has scouted yet.
Actually, I actually did read about High Point. And I'm not joking because a lot of bettors are making bets on High Point. I'm serious. Bettors are betting on High Point. That's why I know who High Point even is.
I'm not betting on.
Where is it?
It's in
the High Point.
In the NCAA tournament.
No.
It's at a High Point.
Oh, where's High Point? Yeah. It's I don't know.
Is it?
Yeah.
Do you know their what's their name?
Oh wow.
I don't know. I know they're purple.
Yeah, you're right. They're the Panthers. And they are in High Point, North Carolina, wherever the heck that is.
I'm going with High Point, but not because of that. I'm going against Purdue. Purdue always seems to lose to somebody unheard of in the tournament. Tony?
I too. What's the spread on this one?
7.5.
Yeah, I
Very
too
high
take
spread.
High Point.
Oh, another High Point.
High Point,
you want
baby.
to make it a sweep?
High Point, baby.
High Point?
High Point me.
All of us. All right. Houston, the number 1 seed, 28.5 over SIU Edwardsville.
Ooh.
That's the fun thing about the tournament, man. There's a bunch of directional schools and stuff like that nobody's ever even remotely heard of.
Jesse Agler is the only person I've ever heard say directional schools.
We definitely have coined the term.
Oh yeah, we have from him for sure.
Yeah. I think Tony's up here. 28.5 for the Cougs.
I'm gonna take the Cougs.
Cougs, Skrabe.
Yeah.
I think Houston's probably going to shut them out. Like Houston's
0 points?
Right.
Wow, that'd be crazy.
41-0. I'll take Houston. Their defense is really good. One more, Gonzaga 6.5 over Georgia.
This one's tough.
That's a tough one. 8-9 matchup. Skraby, you're first. Zags have been to the Sweet 16, I think, 11 years in a row, which is impressive.
In my bracket, I picked Georgia.
Okay, then you better take them.
I'm going to.
Again, it's the SEC, right? I'm going to take Georgia and get the points at least. Tony? I shouldn't do that because Ben's outside with
Zags.
the Aztecs. He's a Zag guy. Our guy, Ben Pearson with the Aztecs women, he went to Zags.
Oh.
He did, yeah. So don't tell him I took Georgia.
That's the first thing I'm going to tell him.
He probably will. They're coming in studio, the Aztec women's basketball team. There's our picks. More Gwynn and Chris coming up.
Ben and Woods.
Tomorrow, heading out to Baton Rouge, Louisiana, where they'll take on LSU. Saturday night, exciting NCAA March Madness. Before we get to them, I want to remind you, great Greek food, Mediterranean, my guys, Spiro's Mediterranean Cuisine. Anytime. Go online, spiroscuisine.com. Traffic, we got to take care of that. And then basketball.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by Hummel Casino. Well, the good news is very few incidents or accidents. The bad news is still going to find a lot of that slowing in the usual spots, guys. There was a crash on northbound 5 Coastline right before Loma Santa Fe. Looks like that is at the clearing stage over to the right shoulder. Hey, players, things are about to get real here in San Diego at the all-new Hummel Casino Resort, where you can play your heart out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. Opening this summer, Hummel Casino Resort, the player's place. Learn more at HummelCasino.com. I'm Kelly Danick with Gwynn and Chris, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
All right, in studio with Kim Villalobos and Megan Fizo, a couple of seniors, both, academic honors and graduates and working on their MBAs, just like this whole Aztec women's basketball team. And very proud of what you guys accomplished last week in Las Vegas. Before we get to that, say hi to Tony Gwynn Jr. He's in Peoria.
Hi, ladies.
Hello.
He's an Aztec.
Oh.
And the Skraby, you don't have to worry about so much about him over there.
That's not very nice, but okay.
It's true, though. No.
What the heck? I'm just sitting here.
Skraby's our guy. I before we get to the LSU and making the tournament, I mean, that was the game of like all time last week, right? Last Wednesday. Now it's been a week. Kim, your play, I think you got most of your scoring actually in overtime. But now that you've had a week to think about that win in triple overtime to win the championship, I mean, what's going through your mind now when you think back about that game?
Yeah, I think it's still super surreal. I think I'm still looking at all the pictures and, just kind of thinking about that moment and also realizing how crazy of a game that was. And I just think it comes up in so much conversation, which I'm so happy about that it's even a conversation, after all these years. I'm just so happy we won at the end of the day.
And Megan,
Kim,
go ahead, Tony. Sorry.
Real quick, Kim, I just have to say, haven't got a chance to watch that game. Your work in the post, that fadeaway jumper, little baby jumper you got right there, that was impressive. It was you guys made that a lot of fun to sit and watch that game. It is surreal, even for us who weren't even on the court. It is surreal to see you guys get a chance to play against some of the best in the country. So congratulations to both of you guys.
Thank you so much.
Megan Fizo was a big part of that game. And but once they got into overtime, I think it was a little difficult to keep subbing in and out a lot. So tell me what the vibe was over on the bench, especially Megan, when it went from first overtime to second overtime to third overtime. And the kids kept coming back over. I was like, what do you say now?
Yeah, seriously. I mean, in those moments, we just realized that there was like no space for any other thought besides like what we needed to get done. And I was covering my eyes a lot, honestly. It was really nerve-wracking. I was like, oh my gosh, guys, please. And that was pretty much the vibe over there.
Yeah. And then sorry, Tony.
I was going to say it was you guys got up in both of those overtimes, up by 5. You guys lose the lead. You end up going to overtime. You end up with 3 of them. I mean, what is the mindset as you guys are losing those leads? Does any doubt creep in after you've done that twice as you go into the third OT?
Kim, you're up.
Okay. No, I think we were set that we wanted to win the game and whatever needed to be done was going to happen to win the game. Of course, we respect Wyoming, but I also think we were just determined from the first game against New Mexico. So this game was just kind of like, being confident in ourselves and what we do and what we all know we're capable of doing. And it is scary though, definitely in the overtimes when you're down. But I think just staying positive with the game and knowing that, it's not just being down 2. Crazy things happen this month. So it's just, I think we're just confident.
And Megan, you led the charge once that final buzzer went.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, how do you describe the celebration and the feeling of everything you've put in your senior season? You and Kim have been here for 4 years side by side. and to get to that moment. I know the tears were flowing a little bit, and it's okay because Skraby gives me a hard time, but I had some tears flowing on the side too. It was great to see you guys do it.
I know. I mean, exactly that. It was just felt like a big culmination of our 4 years that we've spent here, and just seeing the building blocks that we put down kind of just put us in this position. We knew that we weren't going to lose that game, so it was just really exciting.
What does it feel like to, really, as you said, you guys are kind of the backbone of this program. You guys have been here for as long as you had to be here in order to see this kind of change or start to change. What do you think a win like this, getting you guys here, does for the program? I mean, it seems like it's a big step forward into kind of being able to continue this after you guys are gone.
Mm-hmm, definitely. I think that's kind of how we approached this season. We knew we wanted to be culture focused. And so that's kind of that was our thing this year, just making sure that we had a strong culture, make sure that the way that we left this program was better than the way that we came into it. And yeah, I think it just kind of shows that San Diego isn't just like a nice resort area, you could come here and win some championships too, so it's definitely brought a bigger spotlight for sure, especially with all 4 teams from San Diego.
But these two kids are both laid back, Tony. Don't let them kid you. Don't let them kid you. Kim Villalobos and Megan Fizo from the Aztec women's basketball team. And I want to one more thing before we get to the tournament, but thank you so much for beating UNLV. I can't tell you what, the semifinal win to blow them out was not the championship, but man, it felt good, Kim. I mean, they have whipped us so many times. And I know Megan's a big fan of their coach like I am. She's not.
Big fan.
But just to beat them, that was awesome too. So let's not forget about that. Yeah. That was sweet.
Definitely not forgetting.
All right, so your Sunday was the big, reveal, and Ben Pearson, who's in with us, the media relations department, he said, you guys are sitting there, and LSU's name popped up first. You didn't know that you were going to play them, but he said the vibe was right then. I hope it's us. So tell me what the feeling was, Kim, when you saw it.
Yeah, I think I was really excited, honestly. I think it's such a big opportunity, playing basketball in college. First of all, it's already I'm so grateful for, but being on the biggest stage in basketball, the SEC tournament where LSU plays, conference, and just everything that goes with the program and its legacy in women's basketball I already know about it. The team is aware of it. So I was just excited for the opportunity. I think for all of us, for the freshmen, for us who have been here 4 years, and even the coaches, to be able to go onto their home court and play some basketball in front of so many fans. It was just exciting. I'm really excited just to go play.
Get down there. And Megan, sorry, Tony, I'm so excited.
No,
I keep forgetting you're there.
I'm excited for them. I've been telling Chris, man, please take as many pictures as possible. You're about to be in a huge deal. I mean, for you guys, have you been able to kind of talk to your families? For those who may not be able to make it to LSU, this game is on ESPN. This is going to be nationally televised. Have you been able to kind of talk to your families and kind of, will they be in attendance? And if they can, are they going to be able to check it out on the tube?
Yeah, unfortunately, my little sister is also playing in the tournament. So, didn't want to make my mom choose or anything. So she'll be at home, but she's definitely excited to have us here. Both her daughters. I mean, it's just exciting,
Yeah.
That's awesome.
My parents are going to be able to
Kim,
go.
your dad's not going, is he?
He's going.
Yeah, I know he's going.
No, it's a big deal, though. They never take flights, and they decided they're going to go fly out.
Oh, they're not going to drive. Yeah,
no.
Kim's dad is famous, Tony. He's been at every game that I can remember for the last 3 years. So he's a great fan. Leading the charge out there.
He was a little bit of a TV star this last game. So we saw
more than me. Oh my gosh.
I was like, oh my gosh.
It was all over. I know. He deserves it, though. He loves basketball.
And I want to say that when you guys won, one of the first people he came across the court, he hugged me across the way. So I was
he confused?
A little confused. Thank you, Skraby. He was like, who's this guy?
No, my dad loves Chris.
I want to ask Megan because LSU's got some players. There's no question. And you are, I think your defense has been just, so fantastic this year. And I know the coaching staff relies on putting you in there against really good players. And you're going to see a couple of them here, at least. Flauge Johnson, Michaela Williams. Yeah, what are the coaches telling you? What are you seeing on film? And don't tell us how you're going to stop them. But do you feel like what's your plan?
Honestly, I think the plan is just to go out there and give it our all. Really, like the way I'm approaching it and how I guard them is just how I guard anybody. Really, I'm just gonna go out. I know what they do. I know the plays, like learning the scouting reports, all that. So just making sure I'm on top of that, making sure I know what shots they like to take, if they like to shoot threes, if they like to get in the paint, if they're a bigger guard. So I think knowing all those things, and then just preparing how I would prepare to guard any other guard that we would play.
Kim, you're good. Tony,
no, like,
I'm sorry, we don't normally do this.
I want to hear from Kim. What's the scouting report? What is she looking at from the post position?
Yeah, same thing. I know Anissa Murrow and the rest of the post group. They're great players, of course. But I'm just so excited to compete. I think it's, like I said, with finding out it's LSU. Also, those are players you hear about in the media and all that. But for me, it just makes me excited to be able to compete with players that are in the SEC conference. And I'm just excited. I'm excited for the competition. I'm excited for the matchup.
That's awesome. I do want to ask a little bit about the experience, right? I mean, it wasn't that long ago that the NCAA was getting in trouble because we found out behind the curtains that the women weren't getting some of the same perks that the men were getting. And so that's changed over time. You guys have to be pretty excited to go through some of the experiences that you're about to go through with the NCAA. I mean, there's a bunch of things that you guys get behind the scenes for just being a participant in this bad boy.
Definitely.
Yeah. No, yeah. Sorry. No, like you said, it's honestly, I don't know what it looks like. I've never been. Clearly, this is our first time, but just excited to see where things have changed compared to before. I think you can already see through media how it has changed and how it's progressed and the positive direction. But I'm excited to be there now and see how it is.
Yeah, and actually to add, my freshman year, 2021, that was the year that kind of went viral for not having the same equipment. And I was at Michigan that year, so we went and I got to see it. And so it was just honestly crazy. Like the differences in food that we were getting are 5 dumbbells that we had. They're all 5 pounds. I'm like, what the heck? But it's definitely been amazing to see how it's grown over the past few years. And I'm excited to get out there and see what more they've added.
I know they get a charter flight down there, so that's one step in the right direction.
Amen.
That's one step in the right direction. Talk about your coach, Stacey Terry Hudson. She coached at LSU before she came to San Diego State, so I know she's going to be excited. But the family, atmosphere that she's created is easy to see for anybody that's around you guys. And I think you're taking this whole family down there to Louisiana with you. Talk about what she means and the work that they're going to do to get you guys prepared to play. Kim, sorry.
I think the whole coaching staff has, always done their best efforts to try to make it feel like a family and create that environment for all of us, even within the team. And, remember that we all are sisters and just kind of lean on one another, just like we can lean on them. And just remember that they're there to support us and outside of basketball too. Just reminding us that we're also, more than basketball players, which I think is something I valued all these 5 years. But yeah, I think Stacey's definitely excited. She has a lot of family heading out there or from there, I think she said. John too, he was also at LSU. So I think they're also having their own full circle moment, realizing it's LSU. But yeah.
Megan, how about you being part of this franchise? I mean, starting in Michigan and your experience here.
Yeah, definitely. I would say kind of what Kim was saying, just like the family vibe that they've created off the court has really flowed into how we are on the court. I would say for me personally, how they handled everything when my dad passed was really important to me. And it just showed that they cared about me. And I don't know, it just kind of made me feel like I could trust them. And yeah.
You've overcome some things this year. And tribute to you, the way you've handled yourself under those circumstances for sure. Kim, you've now played when you suit up on Saturday night. Ben, correct me, 155, 156 games played?
Wow.
154 will be Saturday night. Does that tie the record of Adam Seiko?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I know.
Most games, listen to this, Tony. Most games any Aztec has ever played in an Aztec uniform.
Wow.
Kim Villalobos. Awesome. Now, gonna set the record. And you told me, Ben told me this like 3 weeks ago. He said, if we win the tournament and we get to the NCAAs, Kim will tie the record. Well, Congrats. You're gonna tie the record.
Break it now.
Thank you.
Now you gotta win and break it.
Tony.
Yeah.
There's some pretty good basketball players that have come through this, both programs.
Yep, she's been here longer than anyone. What does that mean to you?
It means so much. I'm just grateful. I think when you guys say that, I'm just full of gratitude. First of all, the coaches, it's their choice to put me in every single game, every single 150 whatever games. That's been the all the coaches from my first year freshman year all the way to here. So definitely grateful about that, and just I can't believe, I'm happy my body's been healthy, thank you to God. I've been able to be here every single day in every game, and just healthy. I think a lot of players go through injuries and so many things, even struggles with mental health. So I think I've just been really blessed to have a support system that has also just helped me play all those games, really. It is crazy, though. It's crazy.
Megan, you said your sister. Now, where does she play for those who don't know? And talk about growing up in a family where your sister's also playing at this level. It's hard to get one Division I athlete in a family, let alone two.
We actually have three.
You got three?
My brother,
oh, no.
He does track at Seattle U, so he switched it up a little. But my sister, she plays at the University of Oregon, and she's a point guard, little freshman. So it's been really nice growing up in a basketball family.
Did you used to dominate her, though?
Oh, yeah. I still do. Contrary to popular belief, I still do. It's been really fun, honestly, just watching her on this journey, one that I started not too long ago as well. And it's just been nice seeing her kind of grow into her own, go through her own things, but just ultimately just riding the wave.
Does she reach out to older sis when she, comes across something that she hadn't experienced before? You've been able to be a sounding board for her?
Definitely. We're really, really
That's
close.
awesome.
So I try to help her whenever I can. Just tell her, just calm down. It's a long journey. You got it. Yeah.
That's important to have.
Awesome.
That's important to have.
Seriously.
Yeah, for sure.
I think the key to this whole gathering in this studio is the vibe in the middle of the bus.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's us, man. Kim, actually, I don't know how this happened, Tony, but I get to sit across from Kim and Megan on the bus. And you know this, Tony. Everybody sits in the same seat on the bus every trip of the whole year, right?
Yeah.
Once you get your seat, you're locked in. So I think
to know your neighbors.
We're representing the middle of the bus, guys.
True, literally.
I have to tell everybody the story of when you guys came in and Chris said, "Well, I'm not on your bus."
I know.
And they lost their mind. They were so upset that Chris is not on the bus.
What?
I was like, Chris, no one cares that you're on the first bus, but they really do care.
We're talking to somebody.
Yeah. You're gonna get stuff happening over there, Chris.
I'll probably get a text later that I'm back on the original bus. No, there's so many people going with you guys that they're going to split up the bus. And
yes.
Wow.
So it's going to be so exciting. I'm so happy for you guys. That's the only thing I keep telling everybody. I'm just so happy.
Yeah.
I've seen everything, pretty much that you guys have done, and the hard work you put in and the care you have for each other, and you two young ladies, especially watching you grow up right before my eyes, and for Kim to come back this year when she could have.
That's a sound effect. Came out of nowhere. Yes.
We all support each other on this show, but Kim could have left after last year, and she said, "No, I want one more shot at it," and that paid off pretty nicely for you. So,
yes, and I was just telling Kim, we did not win that championship without her. So her coming back really, it meant the world to the team and also me.
Oh no, seriously,
that's awesome.
Seriously,
friendship.
Hey, you kids, you guys are great. Great job. Appreciate you coming in.
Now go beat LSU.
Yes.
No kidding, man.
Thank you guys.
Good luck, girls. That was. We're all excited to watch you guys do your thing.
Thank you guys for your support always.
Saturday night, 7:15. The Aztecs women LSU. Back more Gwynn and Chris. Thanks for being with us on 97.3 The Fan. to Gwynn and Chris. Crisello, Tony Gwynn Jr. down in Peoria. Padres are idle today. And Matt Skraby. Thanks again to Kim Villalobos and Megan Fizo. And the women's basketball team, Aztecs, heading down to LSU tomorrow.
I said girls. I meant to say ladies.
Ladies?
Girls.
I don't think that they're good.
I didn't feel good about that.
Oh, that's okay. I'll be all right. You'll be all right. You know what? Skraby was concerned the whole time.
What?
Because Kim was. Well, I'm gonna tell you because.
Yes.
Because the last time Kim was on the radio, remember Skraby put the wrong picture on the YouTube chat.
Oh, yes.
I googled her name and that picture came up. Okay.
Put the wrong picture up, and he's like, "Should I apologize when she comes in?"
I really did want to,
and I said,
but I'm the guy who brings stuff up that doesn't need to be brought up.
Yeah, that didn't need to be
right. That she may not even have noticed or anything like that.
Yeah, I didn't say a word, but I felt awkward the entire time. She's like, I'm thinking, she's like, oh, that's the guy who put up the wrong picture.
Yeah.
Right,
Before we leave here, I'm going to punch him.
Pretty sure she's not thinking that, so you're okay, Skraby.
They're really nice. All the Aztec women that we've had on this year have been incredible when they've come on the show.
They've done a great job, for sure.
Fantastic.
All right, we're going to put a little Chris versus the fans here. Chance for you to qualify for a trip to Las Vegas and win some Alanis Morissette tickets. 2 tickets to Alanis. She's performing at the Coliseum at Caesars Palace on October 24th. Sounding good, Alanis. 2-night stay from October 23rd to the 25th across the street at the Flamingo Hotel and Casino, plus a $100 gas card. Chris versus the fans, brought to you by Good Guys, 24th McGuire's Del Mar Nationals. April 4th through the 6th at Del Mar Fairgrounds. Get details at good-guys.com. Call in 833-288-0973 while we get started.
If you had one shot, one opportunity to take down the human almanac himself,
howdy do.
Now is your time.
Listen to me, this guy is dangerous.
Now is your opportunity to win a prize.
Well, I hope you know what you're in for.
Chris versus the fans starts now on 97.3 The Fan.
All right, the rules. You have to make it through 3 questions. Each question will get more difficult. If you get the question right, you move on. If you get it wrong and Chris gets it right, you're eliminated. But if Chris gets it wrong, then you move on to the next question or you win. If you're a first-time player, let us know before you get into it, and you'll get that question for free today. All right, let me put these people on hold, and then we will get going. Let's go to our first contestant of the day. So much power over this. Antonio. Hello, Antonio.
Hi, Antonio.
Hey, what's going on?
Not too much.
Not much. Welcome to it.
Also, and I'm a first-time player.
First-time player.
And he said that with very good flair.
Gusto.
We got to get this together. That was off. Wasn't in your
Okay. We misfired.
That was off.
Okay.
Yeah, we misfired bad. All right, let's go. Second question. Looking a little thin there, Skrabe. Looking a little thin.
Oh, thank you. I've been working out.
Who scored the most points for the Aztecs last night?
I don't know his name. I know he's like 7 foot, but yeah, don't know his name.
Don't know his name. Don't know his name. Incorrect.
I don't know. Did anybody score for the Aztecs last night?
So. I don't think so.
I guess it was Magoon Guath. I don't know.
Magoon Guath.
Well, how about that?
Oh,
there was a
Nick
tie.
Boyd
and Wayne
the
McKinney.
Answer. Or Wayne
it's Nick
McKinney.
Boyd.
One of those two.
Yes.
Yeah. And Wayne
had
McKinney. So
9
either
points.
one of those would have been correct.
Correct. Yeah.
Oh, good. All right. Well, that's good news for you, Antonio.
Yeah.
You moved to the finals. Yeah, I stopped keeping track of Aztec points when they stopped scoring them.
Don't blame you.
Hopefully, this is the only guy that gets to a question number 3.
I hate you. Tony.
What rookie did Connor Joe say was the ultimate pro last season? Oh my gosh. This is a question.
Jackson Merrill.
Jackson Merrill.
That kind of true, guys?
No. Yeah, he was all in about Paul Skeens because they were teammates last year. Sorry about that, Antonio. Well done, though. Good having you on the program.
He lets you off the hook there, Scrape.
Why?
You better get to writing, though.
Oh, I'm getting to writing as soon as we. You would think at this point in time in the show, 5 years later, I'd remember that we have this segment and I need questions. So let's go to Eric in San Diego. Hello, Eric.
And SD. Welcome to the show.
Hey, guys. How's it going?
Hey, good, Eric.
It's going well, Eric. Here we go. First question. What is the nickname for the famous NFL play that involved the New York Jets quarterback Mark Sanchez running full speed into the rear end of a teammate?
That would be from the butt fumble. So I guess the butt fumbler.
Yeah,
yes.
Very good.
It is indeed the butt fumble. All right. Question number 2.
I think Mark Sanchez hates that more than anything on earth.
No, he seems like a guy who embraces it. He seems like that guy.
I hear him all the time. Whenever somebody else makes kind of a silly play, they show his play. And so he's like over it by now, But
yeah.
Too bad.
Yeah, I'm sure he doesn't like that play very much for sure.
No.
All right. Question number 2. What was the first Major League Baseball stadium to use the old school AstroTurf?
All right.
This is right in Chris's alley right here.
I'm just going to take a guess here and say the Houston Astros.
I'll take it.
Yeah, you got to take it.
Yeah, that's right. The
That's
Astrodome.
Yeah, the Astrodome invented AstroTurf. Yeah,
now I've only
exactly right.
I played a Pop Warner game on AstroTurf, and I ended up scraping the entirety of my arm.
It'll take every piece of skin off of that.
Oh my goodness, AstroTurf is brutal.
Yeah,
it's so bad.
Yeah,
I can't
do you
believe
remember
they played
those?
on
Do you remember those white strips that Randy Moss wore?
Yeah,
that was to prevent turf burn.
It's crazy how bad that stuff was, and it was on a slab of concrete. There was no cushion.
I know. I think it took him a few years to go, hey, maybe we should put a little cushion in.
It was like literally just a carpet on a bunch of cement.
First of all, it took more than a few years. It took like 20 years before they said, maybe it's not good for
to play right on the concrete.
Now, Major League Baseball, how much faster are those balls coming?
Oh my gosh. I was just getting ready to say, I will say for a fast guy, turf is like the greatest thing ever. I played 3 collegiate games on like old school turf in Minnesota at the Metrodome with San Diego State. And I had at least 4 infield singles that day, or that weekend, just putting it on the ground and running. It was a lot of fun.
Well, the St. Louis Cardinals went to 3 World Series doing that in the 1980s. Yeah. They had the fastest team ever.
Your knees pay a price for it eventually, running on that stuff. But I'm just saying, it's fun for fast guys.
And good job by you, Eric, because they had to invent the AstroTurf because when there was the first covered building for baseball, they couldn't get the grass to grow without the sun. They've now figured out how to do that, but then they did not know. Yeah, kind of. So that's why AstroTurf was invented. Good job by you.
The Diamondbacks said, "Forget it. We're going to go. We're going to go to turf."
We're going to turf.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Question number 3. This is an on-the-fly third question.
Yes.
Who was sacked the most in the NFL last season?
Oh man, I played Chris versus the Fans one other time, and I got the same exact question, but it was only halfway into the season.
Wow!
At the time, it was Deshaun Watson, but I know that's probably not right. I'm just gonna say, let's say C.J. Stroud.
C.J. Stroud.
He was on his back quite a bit.
Stay there.
Not the answer, though.
I think I have an intelligent guess. I don't know that it's correct because he gets sacked a lot. Caleb Williams.
Sorry, man.
Sorry,
you played
Eric.
the game so well, Eric.
You were good, Eric. Thank you, sir. Come back
By
again.
the
Don't
way,
wait so long next time.
What are the chances that he got the same exact question?
Astronomical.
In the same exact spot.
Astronomical.
That's crazy.
That is
crazy.
I have to say.
Yeah. That's true for sure.
All right, next contestant. Let's go to Alan. Hello,
Hi,
Alan.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Good, Alan. Good.
It's going well, my friend. Here we go. First question. Where's the Baseball Hall of Fame? Let's try it again. Where's the Baseball Hall of Fame and National Museum located?
Nice question, Skraby.
Ooh. Contestants taking exception with your question.
Sorry that you don't know one of the easiest questions we've ever asked.
Yeah, I have no idea, guys.
You have no idea? Okay.
Sorry you don't know the answer to the easiest question I've ever asked.
Well, he came at me.
Yes, he did. Cooperstown. I can't talk anymore, but that's
Oh, that was funny. That was funny.
Sorry about that.
That question hit a nerve right there.
It really did. It really did.
Hit a nerve. Skraby's like,
don't ask the next question, Tony, because we don't know what's going to happen. All right.
We need a new contestant.
Let's go with John, is what it says on my screener. Hello, John.
John, are you there?
Last three numbers, 893. All right, we're just listening to a wind tunnel. Let's go to Mark and Vista. Hello, Mark.
Mark and Vista.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Hi, Mark.
Oh, pretty good.
Good.
Doing
Thanks.
well, Mark. Here we go. First question. What MLB team had a World Series drought lasting from 1908 to 2016?
Chicago Cubs.
The Chicago Cubs.
Hey, Mark, thanks for getting it right.
correct.
The easiest question I've ever asked.
That's not the easiest question. Cooperstown was.
Question number 2. Oh, yeah, this one hurt my heart. What NBA player infamously stepped over Tyronn Lue's downed body after draining a step-back jumper?
Allen Iverson.
Wow.
I love the way you added downed body. That was
I didn't know how else to ask it, to be honest. So I said downed body.
I don't think I would have got that. I didn't remember
Really?
that.
Yeah, that's almost as bad as when Eddie House slapped Ray Froston in the back of his head and made his headband spin around his head a few times.
Oh yeah, I remember that. I do remember that. That was tough. All right, here we go. Question number 3. Skraby, he's struggling with these question number 3s. Here we go.
Yep.
Who had the most interceptions in the NFL last season?
Defensive player.
I
would hope so. It's interceptions.
Yeah.
Oh man. I'm not even gonna guess. I don't want to give Chris any options. I'm gonna go blank on this
He's playing the game. Playing the game.
Strategy. I'm struggling to name a defensive back. So I there's a couple guys that are kind of going through my head because I think I remember hearing about them, but I don't know any of their names. So I'll just say somebody that I know is wrong because he sucked last year for all the money they gave Jalen Ramsey.
Oh,
that's my guess. Mark, you're the winner.
Mark is the winner.
Very good.
Stay there, Mark.
The answer was Kirby Joseph.
Yeah. Well, I could have guessed for a month.
Do you know who he plays for?
Lions?
Yeah.
Falcons, right?
No, Lions.
Oh, Lions. So I got that.
You did.
Kirby Joseph. Very good. How many did he have? Do you know?
I have it right here.
7, 8?
He had 9.
9
okay. Picks last year.
All right, that's a lot, actually.
Yeah.
All right, very good, Mark.
Vista.
Lot. Is that who it was?
Yes.
Or Mark and Sand. There's a couple Marks there.
No, it was Mark and Vista.
All right, Mark, you're the winner. Stay on the line. You could be going to Alanis Morissette. A good, lively game today, guys.
Yeah.
And it's been that kind of day. More of it to come after traffic on Gwynn and Chris.
From the 855, get rocked.
4:22 on the clock. Tony Gwynn Jr., Matt Skraby, Chris Ello. We are having a good time on this off day. No baseball. It'll be back on tomorrow. We are at that time of the season. Only today's Wednesday, so Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 5 games of spring training left before heading home and having a couple off days, and the real thing jumping off on what is that, Thursday?
Yeah, Thursday the 27th, I believe.
We are we're 8 days.
Yeah.
And like
Real
you said,
quick,
Tony, how is Mike
yeah.
Shilton, AJ Preller, and whoever going to decide who's going to make the team? I mean, it's so
good
crazy,
question.
and we're running out of time. Like, there's not really a lot of separation. I mean, unless you want to, Gavin Sheets maybe, but everyone else is just kind of contributing nicely. It's there's nobody that's being left out.
I think what I think the good thing is whatever order makes it, you got some guys you feel like might be able to do something if things change, right?
Yeah,
right. You're going to hopefully be able to either get through waivers or somehow get into your minor league system so that you have some depth there. So it looks that way, honestly, on the pitching side too. Even if you misses his first start, due to this inflammation, and not you, Chris, but you, Darvish.
Yeah. I didn't know I was in line to make a start, but I appreciate it, Tony.
I'll have to be talking to Ruben Niebla this week.
Ruben wanted no part of me, huh? He's like,
he was like, "Oh wait, you only threw 80?
Yeah,
Okay.
There's nothing I could do for you.
There's a little league coach down the street that can
whisper or not. I can't help you there.
No, I can't.
No, I just think that there's going to end up being some depth, on both sides. So I don't know how. That's a good question. I don't know. There's been no separation for any of the spots. I don't think.
I know, really.
And so that's a good problem to have, though. It'd be different if like everybody was like stinking the joint up, and you were having to pick from that. Like everybody would like be holding their nose to do it.
You want to hear something funny, Tony? Sorry to interrupt. I shouldn't have jumped in so quickly. Yesterday, Skraby and I were out on the patio. It was about 5 o'clock, maybe 5:15. Skraby.
Oh yeah.
Pretty much everybody had gone home.
Oh no.
And I'm facing toward the parking lot. Skraby's facing toward the locker room.
Yeah.
And we're talking.
Austin Adams walked by, and
no, this wasn't an Austin.
You were here 3 years ago.
That's not Austin Adams. Don't throw us off the scent of this story.
Sorry.
So we're sitting there talking about who is going to, what they're going to do because Darvish has some inflammation in his elbow. And I say loudly, like I always do.
Loudly.
Yeah. Well, we're good with Cease. We're good with King. I think we're good with Pivetta. I said, but the other two are really big question marks. And I'm like, who's it going to be? Is it going to be Vasquez? Is it going to be Waldron?
And the whole time I'm like, hey,
and Skraby starts pointing as I'm talking.
Stop.
And
this is what I'm doing in my head. Stop.
Yeah. I'm like, is it Waldron? Is it Vasquez? You going to go with Stephen Kolek?
You're going to go with Wes Benjamin?
No, I didn't say Wes Benjamin. But just as I finished saying, a 6'5" kid walks past me with his arm up, pointing at himself.
Yeah.
And luckily, Skraby guy goes, or Kyle Hart.
He's going to get in that rotation, and he was like raising his hands.
It was Kyle Hart was walking by as I was discussing who should get that spot.
Yeah. I was just praying you didn't say anything like, "Oh, I don't think Kyle Hart's that good."
Anybody but Kyle Hart.
I would have stopped you. I would have stood up and I would have stopped you.
If Skraby goes, "Who's the number 5 guy?" Well, anybody but Kyle Hart.
Yeah,
it can't be him.
Like I was panicked when we were talking about pitching at the moment too.
First of all, Skraby, great save.
Yeah,
great
he
save.
did. He saved it.
Great save for your partner. But Chris, I hope you do know, in the back of his mind, he knows that you did not consider him in the group that you were named.
I know. He's gonna know.
It's gonna be in his head the whole time.
And he may remember me if he runs into me later this season.
Like, that kid believed in me. That guy didn't.
That guy right there didn't believe in me at all.
Yeah, that is too funny. I'm actually glad that I was gone by that point. point.
It was embarrassing to all concerned, and luckily you were not concerned.
That is the danger of doing a show at the Padres spring training facility.
Yeah. With your back to the locker room.
Yeah.
I think next time we'll switch spots.
Oh, Chris, no.
Yeah.
No. Kyle Hart's going to make the rotation because, he is.
I'm right. As I looked over, I'm like, oh, yeah, for sure. Kyle Hart. Yeah.
I love that he pointed to himself like, yo, don't forget about me as he was walking by. That's great. That's great.
That's great.
Yeah. And we should add this just for fun. While we were playing Chris versus the fans yesterday, we got to the final question. Skraby asked the question. Jason Hayward walked by and he answered it.
Yeah, he did.
Jason Hayward had the answer.
He did.
So he got
Kylian
in on a little.
Mbappe. And then he goes, I think you got the money wrong, too.
Yeah, he thought Skraby had a factual error in the question.
Well, welcome to our show, Jason.
And I said, Jason, this is normal for Skraby.
Yeah, we had a good I'm going to go through all the videos of us having those guys walk by us.
I think Jason Hayward gets to go to the Atlantis concert potentially. You know, if his name is drawn.
Right.
I think we did yell that at him yesterday, and he just kept walking. He was like, all right, these guys are weird.
So we had a couple of crazy moments while you were gone.
Real quick, before we go to break, I do want to get off my partner, my guy, Scotty Scheffler, his menu for the Masters. You know, the guy that I helped grow to where he's at now.
There's no argument here. Nobody's arguing this.
Yeah, no. So he has come up with his menu. I might say his menus. He's got some slappers on there for sure. He's got the firecracker shrimp. He's got cheeseburger sliders.
Oh yes.
Served Scotty style, whatever that may be.
I don't want Scotty style. Sorry.
Papa Chef's meatball and ravioli bites. I like. See, this is a Midwest guy. This is Midwest flavor right here that he's giving off.
It's all over.
Texas style chili. It's got cheddar cheese, jalapeno, corn chips, and then main course. This is where this is Midwest
serious.
Wood fire cowboy ribeye. Sounds
pretty
good.
I got to be honest with you. I'm not eating the sliders. That's going to ruin your menu, your appetite.
You're not. You might be a little too full at that point, right?
Right.
Or you can get the black and red fish. It'll be served with family style macaroni and cheese. It's got, Scotty likes the spice, man. Jalapeno cream corn, soy glazed Brussels sprouts, and chipotle lime roasted sweet potatoes.
Are we thinking Scotty Scheffler sat down one night and kind of mapped all this out, or do you think his team kind of contributed?
No, I've wondered
this. Seems like I don't think this seems like something. Having heard some interviews and him talk about food, this seems like something he would be in on.
I do think the players take it very seriously because they basically get to choose what everyone eats. So they want to make sure that they outdo someone or they have the right choices.
Or if you're Fuzzy Zeller.
You knew where I was going.
Fuzzy, nobody even knew that the champions.
He was concerned.
Was this the fried chicken thing?
Yes, it was the fried chicken one.
He was concerned that he was going to get some fried chicken.
Yeah, there was
and who was delivering or who was the dinner for that night?
I think it was Tiger Woods putting the menu together.
Tiger Woods,
yeah, exactly. That's why it's bad.
Yeah, it was not good timing by Fuzzy Zeller, and I don't think anybody even knew that the champion did a dinner until Fuzzy misspoke.
No idea.
And then everybody was in on it.
He misspoke or he stepped in it?
He basically was.
He didn't misspoke.
Yeah, he basically was just flat out racist. Let's just be honest. That's what it was, Fuzzy. Sorry.
Dominic says Scotty didn't have a menu like that in jail. No, he did not.
Ooh, no, he did
not.
But here's we can't forget the best part of the menu, and this is another thumbs up for him. A warm chocolate chip skillet cookie. The joints that are in the little skillet. Yeah, man.
My mouth is watering.
Vanilla ice cream on top.
Oh.
Yeah, that's where it's at.
Man.
All right, let's get to break. We've reminisced. I mean,
now I'm hungry.
We've got our appetites rolling now at this point. Big Five on the way. Skraby's got some doozies in here as we get ready for this next segment. We're Gwynn and Chris on the other side.
Gwynn and Chris.
Gwynn and Chris with you. 4:37 is the time. It's been a lively show today. We
Surprisingly.
Yeah, I know. We got out of the got all of our Aztec anger out of the way early, and then kind of it settled in here and had some fun. Skraby and Tony had a classic Fantabulous sports game show today. That one went right down to OT, and before, of course, Tony prevailed, which isn't a surprise, but it was fun.
Wait,
we had the.
Did you want to add the part where you screwed me over and made me think I had 2 strikes, and so it changed my game a little bit?
He gave you your point back.
Yeah, but it changed my game because now I had to guess certain guys over other
change.
guys because it would have eliminated me. So if this happened to Chris, he would never let me forget about it. I think Chris just
yeah, I did. So I don't want to hear you.
He just clicked out of the camera.
I didn't just click off the camera. I clicked off everything that I'm on by mistake. So let's move on to some traffic in today's Big Five while I get reorganized here.
I'm stunned.
Sorry.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danek.
Traffic is sponsored by Crystal Geyser Alpine Spring. Well, happy to report no incidents, no accidents, no surprises. That last part means, of course, you're still going to find a lot of that usual slowing in the usual spots, guys. Taking that southbound side of the 5 off the split. It's going to stay pretty heavy all the way down toward the 8 and some more brake lights in the downtown. And South 805, it's tough off the split all the way down toward the 8 before it lets up. Your trip toward the South Bay doesn't look too bad after that. What makes Crystal Geyser Alpine Spring Water different? They always bottle their Alpine Spring Water less than 1.5 miles from the spring source. And all their bottles are made with 50% recycled plastic from their own recycling plants. Crystal Geyser, bottled at the spring source. I'm Kelly Danek with Gwynn and Chris, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
It's that time of the show when we check on the latest in sports. Only the most important topics and questions are brought to light.
Stop what you're doing and listen.
These news stories will astound and amaze you. The one, the only.
Oh my God, who the hell cares?
The Big Five starts now on 97.3 The Fan.
All right. The Big Five. Let's get started with something that is very, very sad, happy, all the emotions.
Number 5.
And that would be Uncle Teddy. He has broadcasted his final game last night. Not the game that he wanted to go out with.
Sorry to interrupt. But
yeah, what's up?
He has broadcast his final game. I'm just trying to save you from the wrath of your mother, who understands that your grammar is poor.
It's not. Did you find anything wrong with my sentence, Tony? I'm not denying it, but
I'm gonna be lying. I'm not gonna lie. I wasn't even really listening to you. So
isn't?
I don't know.
But you said I said broadcasted, but isn't that the past tense of the word broadcast?
Not in this instance.
How?
He broadcast his final game. I don't know.
Here's what I said. Uncle Teddy, Ted Leitner, broadcasted his final game last night.
Yeah, no, I think he knows what you said the first time. I think he's saying that it's wrong.
I'm not saying that he's wrong. I just didn't know that. Okay, let's move on. Uncle Teddy was on the Padres radio broadcast for 41 years and Aztecs basketball and football for nearly 30 years each. Chris, what do you think? What do you think about Ted Leitner's? Or I wrote this question really weird. What is Ted Leitner's legacy here in San Diego?
Well, beyond just the summation of it, which is that he's everybody's favorite Uncle Teddy. Look, he's synonymous with sports in this town, and he's not only synonymous with it, he's synonymous with it for not 1 decade or 2 or 3. How about 4 decades?
Mm-hmm.
It's just an incredible, illustrious career that is going to be, stand the test of time. I think everyone's going to always think back, to what when they saw Ted, whether it was doing a new Channel 8 newscast is the one that stands out to me because he was so funny and so entertaining and so good. But, all the games that he's broadcast, Ted, as you would say, No, just an incredible legacy. I don't have enough time to think of the right words to say, because honestly, I really want to do a better job of describing it, and I might need another minute to come up with something to, make it what it's worth being.
Is that your way of saying you don't want to try harder?
No.
No,
it's just my way of saying I want to pay tribute to Ted the right way.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
That's it.
What is it? What was the question again, Skraby?
What do you think Ted Leitner's legacy is in San Diego?
Yeah, I mean, I think it starts with the greatest voice in San Diego history, for sure. I think that's where it starts. But that would like Chris is saying, it would probably be short-sighted to just end it there. I mean, he was doing things that no one's doing now. I mean, he was doing the news. He was doing,
radio show,
the baseball game, the radio show. I mean, this is I would have to think deeper, but I would say that it starts with greatest voice ever here in San Diego.
And on a negative side, I want to say thanks, Ted, for hogging all of the jobs and not letting any of us have anything else to do out there.
Hey, Chris.
Here's a concept. Fight me.
Yeah. I mean, seriously, right, Tony? He had everything. I mean, that's how great he was. There was nothing left for the rest of us, Ted.
Unfortunately, my mom texted me.
And?
Said Chris is right.
I was right.
Number 4.
Thank you. Thank you, Mom.
Of course. I knew. I mean, she does. This is right around the time she comes home from school. So figured it was going to happen at some point. All right. UCLA's basketball head coach, Mick Cronin, is almost a must-see post-game press conference lately. After losing to Wisconsin the other night, Mick Cronin was not happy about the delay of the presser. And this is how the presser started for UCLA and Mick Cronin. Now, there's no video because it's not really that big of a deal, but you'll hear what he has to say.
You know the game ended 32 minutes ago? The game ended 32 minutes ago. 32 minutes ago, the game ended. We couldn't expedite this a little better? I don't have an opening statement.
There, that was Mick Cronin.
We couldn't have expedited this a little better.
I think he's yelling at the wrong person. He's just yelling at the guy who's trying to direct traffic. But fans point out that Mick Cronin constantly makes excuses and throws temper tantrums after losses and is over-the-top happy after wins, which I think is every coach. They want more of an even keel from their coach. Tony, do you think Mick Cronin could be classified as a jerk?
No. I think that's all of that's not true. I don't think that he's over the top when they win. He's very critical of his team when they lose. I don't hear him making excuses. I hear him putting it on the team and what they got going. I think this is the other thing. You're not supposed to be a good loser. You know what I'm saying? Like 32 minutes after may not seem long, but usually those pressers happen pretty quick. Just think about Mike Schill. As soon as the game's over, win or lose, that happens relatively quick. It's not Can you imagine if they made Mike wait 32 minutes? Y'all might not hear from him. He might just say, I'm out.
I'm trying to think of what would have caused that other than the fact that maybe there was another presser
either way,
happening.
I think to your point, though, it's not that big a deal, but the fact that they lost, he had to wait around. He was stewing in it, clearly. I don't see this as just a kind of a blip on the radar. Hot Mike caught him just kind of being a little salty about his loss. And by the way, you said he was yelling. He wasn't yelling. Those were just stern questions.
He was pretty relaxed, actually. Yeah.
When did I say he was yelling?
Asking. You said he was yelling.
Okay.
You said he's yelling at the wrong guy, is what you said.
Oh, you're right. I did say that. I don't like his face, though, when he's like, couldn't have expedited this a little bit faster. Chris?
Well, I'm on the other side, right? I'm in the media room waiting for coaches my whole career.
So can he be classified as a jerk?
So when they pass the mic over to me, I think it would be hilarious if just one time I had said to Pat Riley, it's been 32 minutes, Pat, since the game's been over. Do you think you could have expedited this a little bit?
I wouldn't.
So
want to be in that room.
I do see that side of it as well. But ultimately, I think my final take on Mick Cronin is I'm starting to find him entertaining. And I'm also starting to go with this notion that we ask these people to be honest with us and not give us the same old boring crap. Mick Cronin certainly is not giving
logistics.
It isn't. You can get a press conference organized in faster than 32 minutes. He's calling people out, saying do a better job.
Tournament. There's a lot of teams playing. There's a ton of things going on.
Oh, wait, this is in the Big Ten tournament too. So you guys, they've already been doing this for like 3 days.
Let me tell you something. I know how the tournaments work. And the game is over. The winning team goes first. Now, he was the losing team, right? So he was that's probably why I had to wait a little longer. But I don't know. I'm all right with Mick.
All right. Wow. I'm
I don't mind, man. Put people on notice. Do your job better out there.
I don't know why we're celebrating bad behavior.
Because
that's not bad behavior. What is bad about that?
I don't like it that he took it out on the guy who was just in the room.
I think it's funny.
First of all, I can't see the video. Do you see who he's talking to?
He's off screen. But you can hear after the first one, he goes, the guy asked him, like, what was that? He goes, "You're coding of expedited. This ain't faster."
That doesn't mean he's talking to the wrong guy.
Yeah. Who was in charge? The guy at the front.
I can just imagine if I was the guy who was just ushering people on and off the stage and Mick Cronin said that to me, I would be like, what a jerk.
They had already been doing these press conferences for 3 days. I don't think the guy or lady changed that he was talking to. So he probably knows who it was that has been escorting him and talking to him all week.
And by the way, Skraby, would you like my list of athletes/coaches who have made me wait the longest over the years?
I already know your top.
I'm going to give you my top, and it's not who you think.
No, it's not that one.
No, my top is Bob Tway, the former PGA golfer, who said
Bob Tway,
who after a round at La Costa said, "I need to hit a couple of balls, and then I'll be happy to talk to you." And went to the range for over an hour.
Yeah.
While I sat waiting for this guy. And I waited, Tony, which is embarrassing enough. But I needed to get the story.
That's your number one. I'm not going to name what the one I thought, but you know the one I'm thinking.
I know
who
you're thinking of. But no, he didn't make us wait an hour.
Darn near close to it.
Number 3.
You guys are going to be the judges of whether or not this YouTube video title is guilty of clickbaitery. ESPN posted a video titled, quote, "Is Caitlin Clark the greatest of all time in college basketball?" End quote. The video was crushed by commenters because the host ended up not even putting her in the top 5. Mainly the reason was she didn't win a national title while she was in college. So, Chris, fans thought this video pulled a fast one on them. Do you think this video is guilty of clickbaitery?
Probably. But you got to do what you got to do, don't you? I mean, don't you, when you try to promote your video
I think
online or in Twitter or wherever, you try to pick out the thing that's likely to get people to click the most.
Yes, but you have to be within the topic of your video. You can't just put up a video that says, "I talked to Bill Clinton," and then it's like you and your dog.
Okay, but you're saying that the video said that
what happened?
It was discussing whether Caitlin Clark was the best ever, right?
Is Caitlin Clark the greatest of all time in college basketball?
And then he answered in the video, no. Seems fair enough.
Didn't put her in the top 5.
She shouldn't be in the top 5
So it's
yet.
not guilty. They're not guilty of clickbaitery.
No.
Tony?
Not guilty of clickbaitery here. I mean, they sold it by putting Caitlin Clark, who is probably the most popular female player right now, in on the discussion, only to find out that they didn't have her in the top 5. I don't think that is clickbaitery. I think that is just good advertising right there to get people to come to your thing. Because ultimately they knew that they weren't going to have her in the top, or he wasn't going to have him in his top 5.
You're not clicking if it says, "Is Maya Moore the best ever?"
You're right.
Maya Moore is.
Yeah,
you're right.
Sure.
For the record, I don't think this is clickbaitery, but I think it's close because I think a better title would be, "Is Caitlin Clark in the top 5 best basketball players of all time, college basketball?"
Clickbaitery would be your example earlier
of Bill Clinton and then talking to a dog.
Yeah, Right, and it's just that's clickbaitery. That has nothing to do with nothing at that point.
J Max says, "What if the dog's name was Bill Clinton? Then we're not clickbaiting, okay?"
Then that's legit. But that would fit more in what this headline had right here. Cleverness.
All right, you guys have kind of talked me down on that one.
Number 2.
I was looking around for news today, and I saw an article titled, quote, "Best backup quarterbacks left on the free agent market," which I didn't know was the thing, but I clicked and saw that Carson Wentz was at the top of their list of backup quarterbacks. Gardner Minshew held the top spot until the Chiefs signed him, and with the Chiefs signing him, that meant Carson Wentz was out of a job as the Chiefs' backup. Tony, how much effort should a team put into a backup quarterback signing?
I think it's valuable to have a good backup on your team. How much you invest in it depends on, obviously salary cap, things of that nature. But I think it's a great idea to have one. I mean, quarterbacks are the most protected, but if you don't have one, some reason, quarterbacks beat up or they have an injury where they're out for a year, you don't have a backup, it's a wrap. Like you won't win any games. You won't even be in any games if you don't have a quarterback. So, yes, you can get a good backup. On top of that, that's like a cheat code.
Chris and I both had a backup quarterback on our teams playing this year, and it was awful. Chris, what do you think? How much should a team focus on a backup quarterback?
More than my answer, more than the Dolphins did.
Skyler Moore?
No. Well, and now after trying Skyler Moore and was it Huntley and all these guys who couldn't throw a pass, they'd settle on Zach Wilson for next year.
That's right.
So the Dolphins continue to be the dumbest team in the sport. You need a good backup in this day and age, especially when your starter is going to get hurt at least 5 games like Tua is.
All right. I got one more, and it's about the Green Bay Packers. They have introduced a legislation for a tush-push rule, and they've given us the language of said rule.
Always trying to introduce a new rule. Get out of here, Green Bay.
Hey, the Lions did a lot too. They introduced a lot.
Weren't they the one who tried to sneak attack the last? What we catch them on earlier? Green Bay was the culprit. Remember the story came out?
It was about the one team who did it, and we didn't know who the team was. Anyway, we got to get going. We'll talk about that when we get back.
Happy hour. We're here. 5 o'clock. Tony Gwynn Jr., Chris Ello, Matt Skraby. Skraby's got one more question to finish up the Big Five. Let's get to it.
All right. I also have, if we have time, I had a question in the Big Five. What? Sorry?
Nothing. Go ahead.
If we have time, Chris and I had a question to Chris yesterday about something that happened at Sam Levitt and now I can't say anything because Chris is going to grammar police me. Sam Levitt and I went to dinner and something happened at the dinner that I needed to have happen. It didn't happen, but we'll get to that when we get to that. The first question, I know I didn't explain that very well. The Green Bay Packers proposed.
At least your grammar was good.
Thank you. I'm trying. At least one part of it is good. That's what I'm striving for. The Green Bay Packers proposed a tush-push rule change, and the final language of the rule goes like this. It's going to be Rule 12, Section 1, and it would be amended to say, quote, no offensive player may immediately at the snap push or throw his body against a teammate who is lined up directly behind the snapper and receive the snap to aid him in an attempt to gain yardage. Basically, you can't push the quarterback from behind. Pushing the quarterback forward on a sneak would become a 10-yard penalty. So for the rule change to pass, it would need 24 yes votes. Chris, will this pass?
No. The reason it's not going to pass is because everybody can't do it, like the Eagles. And that's just – and if it does pass, it's going to be nothing but it's going to be sour grapes to the nth degree. These guys can do something that no other team can do. They should not be penalized for it. Having said that, I would write my own rule change, not outlawing the tush-push, but outlawing offensive linemen from grabbing a running back's arm and bringing them forward down the field. That, to me, is not a football play of any kind. You know, when a guy's, about the 9-yard line and he's trying to get inside the 5 and an offensive lineman just grab the guy and just yank him forward with him.
I love that.
Hate that.
Oh, interesting.
That's my thing on that.
I'm trying to see that. I'm trying to see
like a scrum of people pushing.
It's kind of a scrum, and the offensive lineman will just grab his own running back and just pull him forward another 4 or 5 yards.
Yeah.
That to me that's now we're into roller derby, and I'm not a fan of that.
Tony, will this rule pass?
I hope not. I hope it doesn't pass. I for one don't have an issue with any of it. You know what I'm saying? Even the offensive
even the roller
lineman,
derby move.
Yeah, the roller derby. Well, I don't have a problem with it. It doesn't happen all that much, but I think that this is just how Packers just being, little suckers for not really wanting to.
I think the Eagles.
I think
they play the Packers and should just line up on the first play of the game and just start.
They should just do it all game long.
Yeah, just every
they
play.
Really should.
All right.
Yeah, no, I think I don't think this should pass. I hope it doesn't pass.
There's a lot of rules that are going to be discussed, though. I don't know if you saw that. Skraby.
There's a ton of rules that are going to be discussed.
That's one of them. The other one is the Lions would like to see the seedings change for the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of division champs are 1 through 4, and then wild cards are 5, 6, and 7, you basically just take it by record. So if the best 2 teams in the conference are in the same division, they're seeded 1 and 2. And they've been trying to do this in football ever since I can remember. And the reason that I don't think they should do it is because if that's what you want to do, then you shouldn't have divisions. There's no reason to have a division. Just put everybody in one long pile up, and whoever the second best record gets the second seed. But if you're going to have a division, to me, it ought to mean something to win it. So I don't agree with the Lions there.
I think ever since basketball changed it you have lost the ability to identify divisions, right?
That's
changed
right.
it
Yeah,
to
there
this
is no
format.
division. Yeah, they have divisions.
You don't even
in
know
basketball.
what the name of the right.
You don't even
you
know
have
what
no
they
idea what their name.
I know one of them is the Pacific.
Right, that's as far as you're going to get.
But you don't even know who's in it because there's no
Warriors.
Right,
the Pacific teams, Chris.
Okay, that would make sense. Yeah, but keep in mind.
But yeah, I would say the same thing. That I think stay away from this. It's cool that you still have to win your division, and that means something in the NFL.
Yeah, you get a home game in the playoffs if you win your division. And, this whole, last year the Vikings had the second best record, right? But they finished in second place. So, you could complain that they should add a better seeding, but the next time around, the Vikings will win the division at 8-8 or 9-8.
Right.
It goes in cycles. Some teams get benefited from it, and some don't.
We are such prisoners of the moment. Leagues, they want to react to what is not even thinking about the fact that it doesn't happen the same way all the time.
Absolutely. There's a couple more rules I want to throw in. I don't know if I like this one, but the Lions put this one in as well.
I do like this one.
All right. The Lions led the league with 11 defensive holding penalties.
Yeah, I do hate that they're doing this just because they're bad at
this. Well, that's probably why it came up. They don't think from now on defensive holding should be an automatic first down.
I'm with them.
I kind of agree with this. I felt like this for a little bit.
Okay.
I don't know that all holdings are equal, right? Because some of these are, little ticky tacks. They could literally call it every play.
It's especially annoying when it's 3rd and 25 and you get a holding penalty 2 yards downfield.
Automatic.
And now the team gets a first down. That's annoying.
I think that's silly. Yeah.
But guess what? They're not going to change it because that would hurt the offense. They don't want to do anything that's going to ever hurt the offense.
Well, I was going to say, the defense already has it hard enough. So why not let them have a little bit of a breather by not giving them an automatic
You just
first
answered
down?
your own question.
Because they don't want them to have a breather.
They don't want the defense to have any breathers. That's why they still have pass interference be a 60-yard penalty. They want more points on the board. That's always going to be the way, I believe.
I think holding as a 10-yard penalty is on offense is too much.
Yeah, well, welcome back to the world when it was 15.
I know you told me that before, and that's even crazier.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, holding was 15. I mean, now you're 1st and 25. But they changed that because, again, they want teams to go down and score. So good idea, Lions. Stop holding.
Yeah, right?
That's it. All right. There's some of the rule changes.
Should we get into my little thing I had with Sam, or should we wait?
I don't know. Do we have anything better?
I don't know. Tony, do you? Okay. So Sam and I went to dinner the other night, and I asked this yesterday, but I got a sandwich, and she asked me what side I wanted, and I said I wanted the waffle cut fries.
He was called a Karen online for this
Very
yesterday,
much so. This
Tony.
is why I need Tony's opinion. Because
I can't wait to hear.
I asked for the waffle cut fries. She said, "Oh, I'm so sorry. We don't have those today. Do you want anything else?" So she's like, "We got sweet potato fries," which I'm not a sweet potato fry fan. So then I look at the menu. Sweet potato fries are an added $3.30 charge. So I looked at her and I said, "Well, because you don't have the regular fries, can I get the sweet potato fries for free?" And she just looked at me and matter-of-factly said, "No." And I thought that was wrong. If you don't have a product that is free, you should give them the next sort of side for free.
He didn't like being upcharged without any choice.
I didn't have a choice. They didn't have it, so she's like,
you could have got no fries. You could have got no potatoes.
Okay, guess what the other two sides were? Two disgusting sides.
What were the two sides?
Coleslaw and potato salad. Like what? How basic do we need to be?
Two disgusting sides.
How basic are we?
So they technically had another.
They had another choice, but he didn't want to go there.
Two other choices.
I wanted the waffle fries.
Choices.
I did not want the coleslaw. But she goes, "You can have the sweet potato fries." And then I really did push back twice. You can ask Sam. And she held her ground.
I don't need to ask Sam. I know.
Twice.
Well, good for her. I'm glad she held her ground on you there.
So are you on their side, Tony?
Yes, because they gave you options, man. They gave you two options. They didn't have any more fries. They were out.
Who runs out of French fries?
Hey, that's a great question. That's a whole nother conversation. That's not what conversation we're having right now.
Never going back
It's not
to
like
that restaurant again.
It's not like they didn't have any other free options. They initially had French fries, potato salad, coleslaw. Ran out of fries, coleslaw, potato salad.
I sat down with three choices. Then you limited them to two.
Yeah.
And then I didn't want either of those.
Do you know there's some places that only have one choice? You wouldn't even have the second options? Options 2 or 3?
What kind of world do we live in where you're not giving the customer what they want?
Hey,
they normally don't give the customer what they want when the customer wants free stuff. I mean, you shouldn't be able to walk into a store and go, "I'd like this shirt for free," and then the person goes, "Well, the customer's always right. Take it away."
No, they should have. I watch a lot of Bar Rescue. I watch a lot of Kitchen Nightmares. John Taffer would have given me those fries for free because he knows that if they run out of something, that is their fault, not my fault.
Yeah, no, I don't think he would agree.
I kind of agreed with you for a minute on this yesterday until people started calling you a Karen, and then I enjoyed that too much.
Yeah, you just wanted me to be a Karen.
Yeah, that's true. I did not want to. Yeah.
Man, Junior says, "Stop being." What do you say? Choose something else, Karen.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do. You gotta choose something else, man.
I can't believe that I am so alone in this. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, you're definitely alone. I mean,
sorry, Scrape.
It's all good, Scrape.
I'm just realizing that I might be a Karen.
You know what I just realized?
You just now realized that, dog?
Yeah.
Oh, you are.
Man,
what do you mean you might be a Karen?
You got Karen.
Hang on a second. I'm going to call up Karen in the Wikipedia. Well, there's your photo.
Padres diehard says John Taffer would have called you an idiot and belittled you in front of the bar. He may have. He might have.
That's
what he does.
Let's get to break. Scrape, where are we going next?
I think we should just talk a little bit about the Padres, the roster, just get everybody caught up to date on things.
There you go. More Padre talk on the other side, right here on Gwynn and Chris.
I'm Chris Ello. Tony Gwynn Jr. in Peoria. Padres had the day off today. Skraby's alongside here in the Odyssey Palace studios. Got one of these, and it's all in one piece because the brackets haven't really started yet. How long till it's torn to shreds, you know? Doesn't take long usually. Bringing it up because we're having our own NCAA tournament challenge here on the program, on the station, 97.3 The Fan. And we'd love for you to enter your NCAA bracket picks. Go to 973thefansd.com. Still time to get in there. Bragging rights are on the line. So take your best shot. My picks are in there. Skraby, you're in?
Yes, I'm in.
Tony, we got to get you in. I don't know if Tony's
already in.
Oh, you're in. Okay,
done.
good. Yeah. So everybody get their picks in. Brackets, you
guys just did one, right?
I just did one. And we talked about this yesterday, Tony. I want to get your thoughts on this. Most people fill out 6 brackets, 7 brackets, 10,
That's too many.
And yeah, to me, you can fill out as many as you want, but you have to make a determination on the one that counts. Because otherwise you don't get credit. Like if you pick Baylor to beat Duke in the second round in one of your brackets, but the other 10 you pick Duke, you don't get credit if Baylor beats Duke. Am I making any sense?
Yeah, no.
Pick a bracket that you're going with. That's the thing.
Listen, when you're gambling, I think it's different, right? When you're gambling for money, you want to try to have multiple things to get you a chance.
Right. Okay. I see that.
That's different. But in terms of this type of deal, what we're doing, I think one is the number.
You get one bracket, so make it count. Mount St. Mary's, another team I don't know the nickname of, taking on American. This is a 16 versus 16 matchup, and it's very much looking like Mount St. Mary's is going to advance. They lead American 70-53. About
the
8 minutes to go.
Mountaineers.
The Mountaineers, the Mount St. Mary's Mountaineers.
Yeah, what do you think American is?
I know the Eagles.
Oh, wow. Are they? Yes.
Anyway, Mount St. Mary's will play. Yeah, Mount St. Mary's. You're right. What else would they be? Mount St. Mary's will play Duke in the quote first round. One more game later tonight, Xavier against Texas. And then I must say, we maybe overuse this phrase, but tomorrow's one of the best days on the sports calendar. Skraby says no?
For sure.
I think it is, man. 9 o'clock.
I do too.
First game, you got your brackets out, March Madness, you're ready. I mean, just game after game. I mean, what is it, 32 games tomorrow, 16 games? I mean, every one of them practically comes down to the wire. They're shifting back and forth. You got 4 channels. I think it's a pretty good day. I think it's a pretty good day.
Agree.
Scrabe, no?
I can't say
you wouldn't put it way up there, huh?
You didn't say it was the number one day, did you?
No, I said just one of the best days of the year on the sports calendar.
I can agree with that.
Yeah.
I heard it as you said it was the best day, but
give me one that beats it in your estimation. Draft day?
No shot.
Not even Super Bowl. I would say
I don't think Super Bowl day beats it.
I would
so
say
what beats it?
First day of the NFL season. I mean,
all right.
That is like that is really good for me.
You like that? I don't know.
But the March Madness thing,
the March Madness day one means a lot more than day one of the NFL season.
And on the West Coast, you start at 9 a.m. You get all day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's better because it's all day. Like you get that bad boy,
Yeah.
I think this is the best day.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I think it's definitely one of the best days, but I think you'd be hard pressed to pick one better. Tomorrow. Now, Friday's the same day, but it's the second day, so you're kind of used to it at that point. But the first day, man, it's fresh. I mean, tomorrow morning, 9:15, Creighton and Louisville. You're there. You don't care.
Are you?
Yeah, I am. Well, I'm not tomorrow because I'm getting on an airplane, but I would want to be there. And then the final game tomorrow night is at 7:10 p.m. So you're basically going to have games from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. 12 straight hours. I think it's great. Love it.
I've opening day has grown on me since I started working here because I've seen how important it is to people, how much fun it can be.
You're talking opening baseball day now?
Yeah, opening, like the real opening
Well,
day.
opening day can't be in the running because Tony Gwynn Sr. hated it. And that's my rule. That's my rule on that.
All right, best sports day of the year, the second baseball game.
That's
right.
That's the thing about tomorrow, right? Is that it's not totally based off of just one team. Sometimes the Padres have opened up, but they've been one of like 2 games playing that day. So opening day could be different for every team depending on which day that is. But opening day's up there too, though. There's so many. I mean, it's easier to follow along the Thursday day of games versus trying to follow along opening day of all the baseball games, I think.
I'm not suggesting this to anybody out there, or maybe I am. If you're going to call in sick one day a year to work, I think tomorrow would be the day you'd pick if you had your choice. Don't waste it.
Waste it for a day you're actually needing off, like.
Yeah, tomorrow.
Okay.
I want to see every game.
Yeah. He said, yeah.
I also think it's different because
every game.
When I worked before radio, I worked in a marketing department basically. And so for the first 2 days, they allowed us to like sit in front of the TV and just watch all day long. So that is cool.
That's pretty
here. Good. I mean, sports is kind of my job. So it's a part of the gig. So I think if you're working in regular office buildings and they let you watch, that is cool.
I think one thing we can do to provide a public service to all the NCAA basketball fans out there. I know that True TV on Spectrum is channel 39. The reason I say it is because True TV is one of the networks that carries games tomorrow. And every year you have to re-find where True TV is because you don't use it. I believe on DirecTV it's 246. So, mark that stuff down because tomorrow you're going to want to find True TV, and you may as well know it ahead of time.
The Practical Jokers Network.
That's what else they show the rest of the year is the show Impractical Jokers.
I didn't even know they had that many episodes, but apparently they do.
Yeah, that's what True TV normally does. But they will be carrying the games, of course, CBS, TBS, TNT, 4 networks, usually 4 games at a time. I think it's a hell of a fun day tomorrow. So enjoy it, but it's made more fun if you got your brackets and you pick them and you get them in So go to 97.3 The Fan SD and sign up. Who did you pick to win it all, Skraby? Are you going to share?
Sure.
All right.
I have to go back.
You don't remember?
It was
you
against,
have to check your notes?
It was against Duke. I know that.
You say Duke's going to lose the championship
we did
game.
this through ESPN?
Correct.
Yeah.
I picked Florida.
Florida.
Yep.
I picked Florida.
You did?
I did.
To win it all.
I haven't seen anybody not pick Florida yet.
Oh, well, then I got to change it.
Jay Billis picked Florida. Dick Vitale picked Florida.
I know who I picked.
Who'd you pick to win it, Tony?
I picked the Dukies.
You went with Dookie. All right.
Yeah.
Ugh.
There we
you
go.
went with Dookie is not the sentence I needed right there.
My wife, I'm just throwing this out there. My wife, and we know this, she's always in the running at her work in the pool. She's won it, I think, 2 of the last 3 years.
Okay.
For some reason, she has great success doing this without my help, and she picked Houston to win it all. So just a note.
Winning one of them.
You got them winning one of them. Yeah, but is it your real one, Tony? That's the key. It's got to be your real
I only
one.
have one in this particular one, so
All
it's
right.
not. I don't have Houston in that one. I got Houston losing to Duke in mine.
Oh.
Got it. Okay.
What about I'm feeling the North Carolina team. That game, I think springboard. I have them in the Final Four. That might be a little
All
crazy.
the way to the Final Four after that last night.
Yeah, it might be a little crazy, but they convinced me last night, the announcers, that they've been playing much better than people have given them credit for. So
who?
The Tar Heels.
You convinced by the people talking about the game?
Yeah, they were bringing up stats about in like the last 11 games they've scored this many points and they have won this many games. You know, whatever they said made me feel like this team is about to go on a roll. So,
well, if they shoot 14 of 20 from 3 every game, they'll be in the Final Four. I'd agree with that.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
that's not easy to do.
No,
But
it doesn't happen.
They looked
often.
unstoppable. And frankly, as we pointed out earlier, the Aztecs looked quite stoppable. So it was a combination of the two, unfortunately, last night. All right, let's step aside.
We didn't talk Padres.
Well, we can do that when we come back. Nothing happened today. It's a day off.
I know. I was just trying
So
to pay
you
off
want to
on the
update
tees.
nothing?
Just trying to pay off on the tees.
All right. Skraby will update nothing when we come back. One final fun segment on Gwynn and Chris.
Thursday.
Back at it again here as we finish up. Gwynn and Chris, Tony Gwynn Jr., Chris Ello, Matt Skraby. Skraby wanted to update everyone on Padre news. Skraby.
First, the biggest fan.
Oh, that's right. See, I was trying to be funny there. And we had something else that we were supposed to be doing. Biggest fan. Congratulations to today's biggest fan, Chris Warburton of San Diego. Give us a call within the next 10 minutes, 833-288-0973, and you'll qualify for our grand prize, 20 tickets for you and your friends for a night in our Odyssey suite at a Padres game later this season. Remember to register your name at 973thefansd.com/biggest fan. Again, that is Chris Warburton. Give us a call. Skraby said you wanted to update the folks on Padre news.
I hate
what do you got?
You just had a little more time to think of some.
You know, you guys are like, Skraby, what are we doing next? Well, Padres, and then Chris goes, well, I got my bracket we'll talk about instead.
Because the bracket's newsworthy today, the Padres are not.
They're literally not doing anything.
I mean, they're off today. Everybody's taking a little rest.
Sorry, everybody. I tried.
Hey, that was you should have seen your camera. Like, as the slowness of your head going down, the camera also like followed you down too.
It was very sad as well.
Kind of dramatic. Yeah.
Do you want to we could always update the Cactus League standings, but I mean,
Rob has a great point. This is the news I need to update everybody on. The Padres start next Thursday.
Did you guys? I don't know if you guys. Well, yeah, no, I doubt many of you guys have been paying attention, but we have reached the 3-hour mark in a couple of games here in the last week.
Oh, yes, you have. Yeah.
A rule of thumb for Jesse and I: if we get to 3 hours in a spring training game, you by fault have to now have a Cactus League scoreboard update. So we ran through the scores the other day in the Cactus League. We almost got to the 3:30 mark, in which you then get an out-of-town scoreboard of the Grapefruit League.
Wow, you can go Grapefruit League too, huh?
Oh yeah, we got it all. A full service.
How long?
Spring training.
By the way, I just thought of this for some reason. How long before baseball rids itself of the pesky names Cactus League and Grapefruit League and starts calling them things like the Honda Civic Car League?
It's on its way.
And the
great question.
The Miller Genuine Draft Beer League.
They've already sponsored the automated balls and strikes thing with T-Mobile.
That's what I mean. I mean, why are you wasting valuable space with these names? Cactus League isn't getting anybody any money. But you call it
the thing is I don't know how much attention Cactus League is getting. You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, but I mean,
it's a great question though. It does seem like we are
we're
due for that.
Missing another opportunity to make money, and God knows those baseball owners need a little more cash.
Yes. By the way, when is the final deadline for the roster spots? Is it day of opening day? Is it day before opening day?
I think it's day of.
Day of. That's what I thought. But I didn't.
So they'll probably send it out that morning.
Yeah.
To everybody, at least to us, and then we'll spread it around to everybody else. But it's going to be interesting. It's going to be really interesting. There's no way, unless there are some injuries between now and then, that 2 or 3 names that you think are going to be there are not going to be there. That just has to be.
AC is kind of giving you giving some hints, at least on
you think
it is. Yeah, if you go read some of the articles, he's virtually said there are some guys who seemingly are locks, based on the conversations he's heard from different people. So,
you want to share those, because I didn't see those articles. Maldonado one.
I don't know that he went into that. Let me pull it up.
I didn't see this.
Well, it hasn't been printed in paper yet, so you. Chris does say that to me all the time.
They haven't tapped it out on the on the side of the cave walls yet.
No, Gutenberg is still putting the press together.
Well, when it happens, let me in on it.
All right, let me see if I can find it. All right, let's see.
We have time, so
Okay, you turn the music on me. Okay.
I did read that AC, in all seriousness, was saying that Kyle Hart does have a really good shot at the fifth spot.
Scared. Turn the music off. I can't think that fast. I think they were talking about Jay Hayward. They were talking about.
He's got to be in.
They're. I can't find it right now, so
right.
I'll have to have it for you guys tomorrow. Yeah. But
I mean, to me, you got Gurriel, you've got Iglesias. Sorry, gone through these names so many times, I'm kind of getting confusing myself. But you've got Eggy, and then you've got Sheets, who's done great, and then you've got Tirso, who had a hot start, and Oscar Gonzalez, who was there for a while. And you got Forrest Wall, and you got Brandon Lockridge. You still got Tyler Wade. And there's just no way
Forrest
all
Wall's
of those
not
guys.
In the competition no more.
Forrest is out.
Forrest, yeah, he was designated.
Oh, run, Forrest, run.
Yesterday.
All right. He's out.
I do think.
But you know what I'm saying? There's a bunch of names, and there's not room for all of them.
No, there's not. There's not. And it's not. But here's the thing. Here's the other thing. If you haven't actually been watching these games, these games, you're not going to be able to just look at a sheet of paper and be like,
and that's why
this is who should be on the team. It just doesn't work that way. And so, we'll see. Got some they got some good options, it seems like right now. So
I would agree with that. Have we delayed long enough, Skraby, to check traffic?
Yes.
No, we got 30 more seconds. We
can go to traffic now. It's okay.
Okay, let's go to traffic.
From the 855.
Peoria Sports Complex here. Gwynn and Chris has traveled here to Arizona, hanging out with the guys here at spring training. And Gavin Sheets joins us here, who is having a terrific spring thus far. Gavin, welcome to Gwynn and Chris. How are you today?
Doing great. Appreciate you guys having me on.
No problem, man. You've come in, new place for the first time in your career. First, what was your experience walking into a new clubhouse for the first time? I mean, I having done it a few times myself, it's kind of an exciting, uncomfortable feeling all at the same time. What was your experience?
Yeah, you just, obviously you're a little nervous. You're excited. You're excited to meet all the new faces. And, luckily I had Dylan Cease that I played with for a bunch here. So kind of lean on him and came in with him. And then, but just unbelievable group of guys, unbelievable group of people here. And between the staff, the front office, the players here, just, it took me like 2 days and I felt like I'd been here for my whole career.
That's
awesome. So testament to these guys here, but no, it was a very easy transition.
What was the process like for you to become a member of the Padre organization? You get in touch with them, they get in touch with you. How did this work? And then what was said to you? Was anything promised you? Or was it like, you're here, now show us what you can do?
No, yeah, I think it was a little bit of both. They reached out their interest to me and some other teams. And, I saw an immediate fit here. I obviously loved playing for Tony La Russa, and Tony La Russa, I told him who I was talking to, and he just loved he loved Schilt, and he thought that would be a great fit as well. So I think Schilt talked to him, and I talked to him as well, and so but then it's looking at the fit and looking at what nothing was promised to me, nor did I expect anything to be promised. I didn't want any false promises or anything like that, but what was promised was a chance to compete. And I wasn't afraid of competition. I wanted to come in and, be a part of a winning franchise. I watched what they did last year. I know the talent that they have here. I know the superstars they have here. And for me, it was coming in and fitting in and being a guy to add some depth.
Victor Rodriguez is the hitting coach here, and you get an opportunity to kind of work with him. He came in last year and changed the kind of approach and philosophy that we had seen here in years past. What has been your experience working with Victor?
It's been incredible. It's funny. Victor actually was my dad's roommate all the way back in 1982 in minor league ball. So,
yes. Oh my God.
So we had that familiarity, and he's gotten to see me a bunch. He was with Cleveland when we were playing them, and in 21 and 22, and so we saw them a bunch. And I was swinging the bat well at the time, so he knew what I was capable of doing, and he kind of saw some things over time that I changed that we wanted to get back to kind of the way I swung the bat in 21, and but just what I love about him is how positive he is.
Yeah.
How simple he keeps it. It's not about, we're not chasing power here. We're not chasing, Petco Park hitting, keeping it gap to gap, staying in the center of the field, and being as short as possible. And when it adds a lot of power all of a sudden. No, it's been great getting back working with him and all these guys here.
Gavin Sheets, we're sitting out here in the back at one of the little tables here out in the courtyard. And I can see why now, Tony. He hit one completely out of the Peoria Sports Complex. Yeah, it's a big kid. And so it's great to be swinging well, I'm sure, right now. Go back to being a draft choice, second-round White Sox, and your mental state coming into being a professional baseball player. Has it turned out any differently than you imagined? And if so, has that helped you or hurt you along your path?
I think Tony knows this really well as well. It's just, I think our dads really prepared us for what was to come. The baseball side of it, you kind of know what to prepare for in terms of, getting ready to play every day and all that stuff, but just everything else that comes with it outside of baseball. And I think that we were blessed to have dads that did it at obviously the big league level. Tony, obviously at a Hall of Fame level, and to have that support system and just to help us walk us through it. Obviously I think that, there's the ups and downs that you have to go through as a player yourself, that your dads can't prepare you for, but, just how to handle things and be a pro. I think I was blessed to be able to have my dad there and, kind of lead me through that before I even got to it.
Yeah. In terms of that, it's truly an advantage. I mean, most of the guys come into the locker room and they're having to literally figure it out on their own.
Right.
We kind of had a blueprint to kind of follow in order to be a pro. I got to ask you, because beginning of the spring, numbers wise, it wasn't going well. But the thing I noticed was you were hitting the ball hard. Yeah. It was just on the ground. Mm-hmm. All of a sudden, a week passed, the ball starts getting on the line. When you come in competing for a job, right, how difficult is it to stay with it? Because I remember the first 3 or 4 games, you were hitting balls right on the screws. It was just right at guys. Mm-hmm. But in the back of your mind, even though I'm swinging a bat, I want these numbers to look a certain way.
Sure.
How do you kind of, do the mental gymnastics to keep your mind where it's at?
Yeah, it's tough. Obviously, you come in and, you want numbers right away. You want to make a team right away. And, it's a different spot than I've been in the last couple of years. Yeah. And so, you start to press a little bit, but at the same time, it's like you want to dive into these guys. You want to see their ideas. You still want to work on stuff. You know that in the long run, when everything clicks and you make these changes, everything's going to, in the long run, it's going to benefit you. And so it's kind of that fine line of man, I had a great, from 8 to 12 o'clock today, my work was unbelievable. And then you go and you roll over one at bat and you're like, just don't
make it a big thing.
Don't panic. Right. Don't panic.
It's so hard to do though,
so
right?
Hard. It's like, man, I had 4 hours of unbelievable. I had 100 swings today that were really good. And then my one at bat today, I rolled over, I punched out, and it's like, how do you not go back and change everything? But no, I stuck with it and just stuck with these guys and loved what they were doing. And then obviously you start to see some results and start to be like, all right, this is why I was buying in.
Has the 6 home runs you've hit in spring training, has that changed your feeling within this organization? Do you sense it's maybe changed their feeling about you a little bit? Do you hope it has?
I hope so. No, it's been awesome. Just seeing, the fruits of labor come to work and just buying into what these guys had, these guys' ideas, and just obviously seeing it translate to the field has been awesome. I'm taking swings that that I haven't taken in the last couple of years. And that's what stands out to me. It's not just the home runs. It's the way I'm driving the baseball. It's, going left on left to center field against the White Sox. And, it's just the way I'm hitting the baseball. If they weren't home runs, it wouldn't change my thoughts about it. It's just like driving the baseball, keeping it low line drives that are just rising up. And, hopefully it's brighten their thoughts of me. And, put me in a good spot, obviously this time of year, but more than anything, I just know in the long run, this is where I was supposed to be, and the work's coming out.
Now, defensively, where are you most comfortable?
First base.
Yeah.
Okay. But it's been great to get a lot of work in left field. Only played right field my career.
I only asked because you moved well out there. It hasn't looked like it's an uncomfortable spot for you.
Right. Yeah, my whole career I played first, and then obviously got up with Chicago and kind of learned the outfield in the big leagues. When you got Jose Abreu at first base and MVP, you figure out. And so
where you can fit in, right?
It's like Tony told me, you figure it out or you just won't be here. And I was like, all right, I'll figure it out. And so, getting a lot of reps in left field and working with Macias here has been awesome. And, just being as comfortable as possible in a bunch of different situations, whether it's DH, first, outfield, the more opportunities I have to give them where I can get in the lineup, the better off.
Well, Gavin, you're off to, you've been having, I shouldn't say off because you're getting close to the end for a while. You've been swinging the bat well. Continued success, man. We appreciate you coming spend some time.
I like what he said about, I hope they're noticing. They better be noticing or they don't have a pulse. I mean, they got to notice. Come on.
We appreciate your time.
Thank you guys. It's awesome. Appreciate it.
All right, Gavin Sheets, he's been hot. 6 homers this spring, and we'll see if it's good enough to get him on the opening day roster. His dad, by the way, was Larry Sheets, who was a catcher DH for the Baltimore Orioles back in the mid-'80s.
I like how he I like when guys are humble and they kind of know. They kind of like when Tony said at the end, a guy with this was Brandon Lockridge, but what he said about he didn't expect anything. He's coming in. He wants to win his spot. I like guys like that don't think that they're just going to walk in and
don't expect it to be handed to them.
No,
don't just think because of who they are, they get it.
Yeah, they want to work for it.
Well, he's working. I mean, and really, I don't think a lot of people would have predicted him getting one of those last 5 or 6 spots at the beginning.
Yeah, no. I mean, we didn't think that at all.
I really don't think how you could deny him at this point. So
you can't really.
All right, here's what we got coming up the next couple of days, just so you're up to date. Tomorrow, Skraby and Tony will be with you the first hour or 2 of the show. I'll be flying down to Louisiana, but I should be there for the second part of the show.
Yep.
Live from Baton Rouge. Friday, Skraby is going to be broadcasting live, but not by his lonesome, because all the Skrabinators say they're going to be out there to support him.
They are.
So you come out and join him as well. He's broadcasting live during our show from Dave & Buster's in Mission Valley from 2 to 6. And, of course, not only you're broadcasting, you'll have all the NCAA tournament games and all the food and fun of Dave & Buster's. Now, just so you know, that all starts at 6 a.m. on Friday.
Yes, it does.
With what's the name of that morning show? I listened to some of it today.
Ben and Woods.
Benjamin and Steven. Yeah, no, Ben and Woods will be there Friday morning. Braden will be there in the midday, and then Skraby in the afternoon. But I'll also be with you via Zoom.
We're going to try to put you up on a screen. I'm not sure.
No way, really?
Yeah, we're going to try to, because it would be weird just to have you just talking over the loudspeaker from.
But that's scary if you're going to put me like on a screen in the restaurant. I don't know if I want that.
Yeah, just don't put your face too close.
No kidding, man. I cut myself shaving today. I don't want everybody to see that on the big screen at Dave & Buster's Friday.
Can I say that Tony
kind of makes me nervous a little.
Tony's still off. We have his camera on right now.
Where is he?
I think he's watching TV, honestly. He loses track of time sometimes when he's in his little apartment.
Wait, let me see something. Do we have a good shot? No, yes, we have a good shot of the 2 of the 4 doors.
Yes, just the 2, the Narnia
that are
doors.
behind where he sits.
Yes.
That's so funny.
That is pretty funny. Oh, there he is.
He's just in time to say goodbye. Just in time to say goodbye.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. Nice job.
Yeah. All right, so anyway, make sure you Skraby Friday, make a note of that to go give him some love and support out at Dave & Buster's Friday afternoon. All right, Tony, wrap her up.
It's been real. Good 4 hours today. Good 4 hours today. Padres back in action tomorrow. Until tomorrow.
Yeah.
Let's do it again. More Gwynn and Chris then. Have a good night. Skraby Chronicles next.